I would have named it something like Cannibal Eater of the Dead.
You do tend to name them that kind of thing, weirdo.
What? It's just language.
I don't know, I think the one time you named it Pearls for Swine or something like that, that was good.
I did. I named it Pearls Before Swine. I named a bunch of them once. Some just depends on what I'm playing. I usually try and go for some sort of clever play on words, but I'm afraid that's probably lost primarily.
On who's watching?
Well, there's never really anyone watching, so that's what I mean.
Yeah, so you've had like 15 people on here.
So I'm just saying that...
and some of your older videos have like 245 views.
I have one that's like 385 or something.
It's you dancing around drinking.
No, those are all... I deleted all those a long time ago.
No, there's still one on there.
Uh-uh. No.
It is. Would you like me to show you? Because it keeps popping up in my feed.
Well, I'm going to take it off then, because, you know, anymore these days, you do something where you might, you know,
get a job,
have a few drinks and laugh around in the comfort and safety of your own home, mind you. People might take that in, hold that against you. So, you know, it's not like I'm making racist videos.
I can't believe they did that.
Well, you know, they did
Great
something.
way to get yourself fired.
Oh. We'll get your ass deservedly.
Deservedly.
Just a terrible thing to do. And yeah, it looks bad on the city if people can easily recognize those individuals. So,
Well, and again, generally,
you want those people working?
Not being a turd is a great way to benefit in life.
People can't handle that anymore.
Oh, the things people can't handle anymore outweigh the things that they can.
Nobody wants to not be a turd, general. That would.
Well, what happens then? Okay.
That would require things like, I don't know, maybe sacrifice or.
Oh, good gravy. They can't even manage to, you know, do a complete job without getting distracted. So how are people going to, you know, sacrifice?
It's not my fault I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with that when I was like 4.
Okay, I am not one that is going to like pound on the ADHD thing because, you know, Bubba, but still. There is a point where you have to learn to function in society.
Feng shui?
Feng shui.
Feng shui in
You
society.
do not feng shui in society. That would be like eliminating people being around and moving them into
That's awesome.
chi flowing.
Wait, concentration camps? Not so awesome.
No,
That was a bad idea after all.
That was a bad idea.
Don't let FEMA hear you say that. Or they'll be feng shuiing people all over the
The
place.
CIA watches you all the time. They laugh at you. They think you're funny.
Holy crap. I didn't know.
You didn't know that they think you're funny?
Well, I believe that. And not in necessarily the funny,
They spend time
more funny,
watching
pathetic.
you just to laugh.
More-
You are their
more funny,
their
pathetic.
off-time entertainment,
Oh, well, that's
not
awesome.
their
I'm glad I can be of help.
what is it? You don't make their danger list. You make their funny Christmas stories and
Oh.
what do they call it when the company comes together and has their
Christmas party?
yeah,
I'm the
well,
laugh of the Christmas party.
You are the laugh of the Christmas party at the CIA.
Oh, nice.
This guy was talking to us again.
I do yell at them all the time.
I know you do, and then you tell them, shh, I'm just kidding.
It's all your fault for killing JFK, guys.
That wasn't them, that was the Rothschilds.
That was Ted Cruz, huh?
It's not Ted Cruz.
It was Ted Cruz's mom. Her and,
Super mutants.
her and Lee Harvey Oswald were buds.
That doesn't mean it was Ted Cruz. What are you saying? He was in her belly and
Yes,
making her
he
do
was the
things?
demon
He
seed.
was, I was going to say.
Beto was the demon seed. Diablos!
Oh, gravy trains. You are like, what the heck is with all these super mutants? Did you like purposely draw them in?
Super mutants love the way I smell.
You were talking about wanting the super mutants.
Fresh meat!
You are fresh meat.
Green meat for Charlie in the Moon. Yes.
green meat, and squashy meat, and tough meat,
Uh-oh, he's gonna throw a bomb at you.
and fatty meat, and skinny meat,
Skinny meat.
and green
Skinny
meat.
meat's not good. Skinny meat doesn't have enough to sustain you. You're gonna get screwed here.
Green meat is the grass.
Green meat is the grass.
For Charlie the Moo Moo.
That would make sense for this moo cow.
Yeah, well, that's his Hackmill Brahmin. I haven't seen him in a while. Next time I find him, I'll
Is it in this game?
Yes.
Oh.
People say there's no NPCs in this game, but contraire, no frere. There is.
NPCs. You've got to explain these things.
Non-player character.
It's N. No.
That's what I said.
I thought you said M as in like moo.
Oh yeah, well that's new. The new player character.
Charlie.
I'm like, what the heck is an MPC? Okay, player.
Yes. So a character in the game that you can converse with. That is
Isn't that what all the robots are?
well, the robots, I guess, nobody sees robots as being anything. We totally...
You ignore the robots?
Yeah.
That is why the robots uprise and why
See, that's a generational
Skynet
thing.
takes you over.
That's a generational thing there, Kelly. I mean, everyone in World War II, to them the robots were the Nazis, okay? And the Nazis were all gone, so now, they didn't have those when we were kids, so it was robots. I don't know what kids are scared of now. Probably My Little Pony or something. You say
They're
robots.
scared of Pee-wee.
And right. You ask a kid about a robot today, and he probably thinks they vacuum in their carpet. That's what cleans the carpet.
I honestly don't think that kids today think about AI quite as much as what we did. Which is sad, because AI is turning out to be a real thing now that we're adults.
Yeah, it's becoming real. A lot of those crazy science fiction themes from the 70s are starting to turn out to be real.
Elliot and I were talking about that the other day. I was explaining to him and Alex that, when we were kids, Star Trek was a huge thing, and it was like super new and top of the line abilities for television shows and such, and that ideas like the communicator, the flip device that they pull out and they can talk to somebody on it, was completely foreign to us. But if you think about it, that's what phones became, like cell phones.
Yeah, kids couldn't imagine a world today without those devices in their life. I really don't think they can conceive of it.
Well,
it's understandable because we live in a life where there's
conceive of a life without cars?
electricity or cars. Sure,
or electric,
sure.
yeah.
And
I mean,
it's hard for us to imagine that.
and it was only 50 years before us that they were riding around in horse-drawn carriages and, well, I guess 50 years before us was the Roaring 20s, but still, just a little beyond that, they were still in horse-drawn carriages and, candlewick.
Well, and if you would have went back and asked Graham Bell, or even the early days of the Ma Bell Company, AT&T, in its earliest form, people's attitude about phones is that they were primarily going to be devices for the wealthy or for emergency situations. They couldn't have conceived of a world where phones were everywhere in our pockets and didn't have wires.
Yeah.
Nobody had any idea of what it was going to be.
Or traveling to the moon is a possibility. I remember Gert, one of the ladies that I took care of, she was like 105, right? And she went to Amish country. Her family took her to Amish country. And they asked her if she wanted to take a horse-drawn buggy ride. And she looked at them and she said, I didn't like doing it when I had to do it. Why would I do it by choice? And that woman lived through the invention of cars, to invention of the planes, to invention of the the rockets that took us to the moon. I mean, she saw it all. I can't even conceive of the things that became reality in her life.
And it happened so fast.
Yes.
And the same thing is going to happen now. The technologies that we're seeing birth now in their earliest concepts, deep learning machines, artificial intelligence. I like to call it synthetic intelligence. I think artificial makes it kind of sound like it's not real. And I
Good
think
point.
that
Synthetic intelligence.
that's just my own preference, personally. That's just kind of how I look at it.
Digital intelligence.
And we're just seeing these things being created now, even like digital currencies, like cryptocurrency. And we don't really understand the long-reaching impact of how these things are going to shape humanity. We won't even be able to conceive of it. And it's going to happen rapidly, just like it did with the advent of cars and the modern age came on. And,
Right, but the modern day and the cars didn't have an ability to make its own decisions. So if you're talking synthetic intelligence, there's a point where it will very likely become more intelligent than mankind.
oh yeah, we're fast encroaching that point. Is rapidly encroaching.
Go beyond our ability to communicate with it, because let's be honest, if we met a Neanderthal, a legitimate Neanderthal, their communication, while capable between each other, would not be something we could communicate. It would be a lost language. It's below our mental capabilities to comprehend. Are we going to end up being that such creature to synthetic intelligence?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is there going to be what is going to be the moral code? Whose moral compass is going to direct the synthetic intelligence? Is going to program them with moral?
That's a big question. And initially, we'll be able to program certain safeguards into some of these machines. But eventually, when you're talking super intelligence, that's not going to be something we're going to have a lot of control over. It's evolution. It's going to kind of do its own thing by nature of what it is, by design. So it's going to get to a point where we will be looking at super intelligent pieces of code.
Right, but if you don't have an initial moral compass, something that says this is right and that is wrong and this is good and that is bad, then how does it develop?
Well, I'm just talking technically, and technically speaking, what you're referring to is more like what a moralist would suggest, and that's kind of like the philosophy of what we're doing and what we're creating, and that's the big hot debate now with creating these super intelligences, because most of what we have right now is just like deep learning machines, or what we would consider moderate intelligent machines. That are close to what a human is in terms of decision making, and then we have very specialized intelligence, things that do specific things like look for cancer or tell traffic how to flow, things like that. Well, once we start getting to where we create something that's way smarter than us, it may have no concept of morality in any terms what we would even think of. It might be the most alien intelligence that we can imagine. It may not be possible to involve it in human morality. And in fact, are we really that good of examples about?
But that's what I'm
human
saying.
morality?
Is human morality
more
is
human
so
than human.
varied.
The great Greek conundrum.
But if you
Will
don't
our
have
creations
any morals,
be more
then
human
you
than
run
ourselves?
the risk of having a super evil. I mean,
Maybe it won't be at all. Maybe evil is a human construct. So maybe even terms of it won't even think in terms of human or in morality. It may think of terms in just ones and zeros or pluses and minuses, creation or destruction. So it may say to save 1,000, I may have to kill 500.
but that's the question. At which point is that moral or immoral? You know, is the life of one child over the life? It's the movie with Will Smith where the robot saves him and not his child because he had the higher probability of survival, but survival without his child was not survival.
Well, it's kind of meaningless without carrying on your genome, right? That's the point.
So while a human being would know you try everything to save the child,
Well, and that's evidence that when AI fails, and this is what we see, it fails spectacularly. So when they do misjudge, make a miscall, a misjudgment, it's usually really bad. Their success rate is 98% of the time, whereas human success rate may be more like 68% of the time.
I'm not saying that
But
they're
that 2% failure, since they succeed so well,
Is so vast.
when they do make mistakes, it's usually the consequences are very strict, very, very wrong. So, for example, someone has been killed in a Tesla Model 3. They were killed because the visual system that determines which direction that it can go mistook the side of a semi-truck for the sky because the pigment matched the sky color. So he couldn't tell the difference between a truck trailer and the sky, so it turned into a passing truck, and someone was injured and killed. And statistically, if you look at it, most of the time, those machines could be far more better driving than people. You know? And once we get them going, and it's going to happen, we're going to see accidents and fatalities and road crashes and DUIs and all that stuff is going to go out the window. But it is going to fail at some point, somewhere, and people are going to get killed, and it's probably going to be terrible, and we're just probably going to poo, because it's probably going to happen at a time where we don't remember what it was like to have people driving the cars, and some old man saying, and going down a street market where he runs through, 50 kids and elderly and people just trying to buy vegetables on a Sunday afternoon. And we're going to see this sort of stuff happening everywhere because eventually, ideally, machines and robots are going to take over most of the aspects of our life.
I don't disagree. I think
And that could be a wonderful thing for people. The scary thing will be what happens when humanity gets to a point where we're so conditioned by it that we can't live without it.
Well, but that's where we're at right now with general technology. I mean, if you look at it, how many people, honestly, how many people could survive if electricity, water, and grocery stores failed? Hey, Duffy.
If grocery stores stop getting supply, I think they say, the food would last on the shelves for like 3 or 4 days.
Right.
And then be cleaned out. And that's just at the current rate of consumption under normal circumstances without a panic. Obviously, if you panic, the food's going to be gone in an hour.
Right.
And most people are going to get trampled trying to get their last stock of celery.
But that takes me back to my point about the husbandry and the wifery. Without knowledge, without education on how to do those things that are basic life skills, not technology-based life skills, but basic life skills, how do people survive when technology fails?
Well, it used to be a colloquial tradition that people would hand this knowledge down from father to son.
But we also killed off the family unit, so now you don't have fathers to teach it to father and son.
Well, and that's just the examples of it in our culture as modern Americans. The oldest cultures on Earth, that's happening at an alarming rate, and these are the people who still understand how to survive without the benefit of modern technology. Nobody wants to be involved with that, so their youth and kids are leaving at a terrible and alarming rate, and so their traditions on how that they do this stuff is being lost. Just like Roosvinger.
I met some Amish going on there.
The Roosvinger?
Yes, actually, he ended up going back to the Amish community. He looked like Doogie Howser, and it was funny because he would go to country concert and he would always bring Jello shots, and he would say the doctor's in with shots.
Oh, cool! You should wear a stethoscope and the lab coat.
Yes, he actually did. Yes, he was a funny little kid. But now he's back in the Amish community, and he's been baptized, and he goes through
Well, the Amish have a
traditions.
strict culture, but
They
their
do.
strict culture has maintained the strength of their communities through a lot of different turbulent times in world history, and they survive.
They do.
And if anyone was going to be doing good when the world goes to crap, look, the world goes to crap. It would be
those
The
type
Amish.
communities, and the Maasai in Africa. They probably
Well,
wouldn't even
because they
notice.
still function without all of the, what do they call it, the English technologies.
Yeah.
I think those things are important to learn. I think it's important to learn how to make butter. And it's important to learn how to make bread and cook it in an earthen oven. And I think that those are things that people poo-poo a lot, but look at tragedies. Not even just like the whole world going to pot, but you know, we have floods which wipe out the electrical grids in areas, and we have tornadoes, and we have earthquakes, and for days, weeks, and months on end, people are living in their homes with none of these things.
Yeah, it's awful. People in Puerto Rico, like a year afterwards, still didn't have power, and they were keeping their stuff cold by with ice and coolers. They fill it out every day. So, to get ice. And they said their stuff was spoiled. It's in the tropics.
But then you're learning to do things like, let's salt our meat. Let's, you know, not wipe the goo off the egg so that it lasts for a year. Let's, you know, those skills that, well, I mean, people survived in Puerto Rico without electricity for centuries.
Well, I was going to say, if a lot of those people still didn't have chickens, they probably would have expired. But a lot of those people still keep chickens.
Listen, so I've
And
told you
goats.
before, 2 chickens for every person in the household. That is
Well, a couple of chickens and a goat is ideal.
a couple chickens and a goat, and we can pretty much make it's stuffy.
Boy Scouts are good for that stuff. They were good for that stuff.
Now they're Boy and Girl Scouts.
In America, they're not teaching woodcraft anymore. They actually have badges for like video gaming, but and urban exploration, but
Yeah.
they don't have badges for woodcraft anymore.
They don't teach camping anymore because they're afraid of their leaders being accused of terrible, terrible things. So they don't do overnights. They don't teach them fire because kids could burn themselves and hurt themselves, which is kind of the point of teaching the fire control.
It's awful.
Yes.
It's freaking awful.
The manly skills are no longer acceptable. And God forbid you try and teach a girl femininity.
I think a little bit of self-sufficiency would be good for a lot of people.
I think girls learning how to sew and how to mend things and teaching them that things are not just disposable.
Oh, I really dislike disposable society. You know that.
Yes,
I really
do.
dislike that kind of thing. A disposable lifestyle irks me a lot. It really bothers me.
I was watching last night on basic stitching, so I think I can actually do my quilting without having to have a sewing machine. I just had to revamp how. Oh wow, yes. I say that quite often. Oh wow.
He's probably shocked at the whole Boy Scout thing.
I was shocked at
It's
the whole
pretty
Boy
shocking.
Scout thing. How do you have a group called Boy Scouts and not recognize that it's for boys? It's in the name. Boy.
Yeah, I'm a scout leader. I'm in the system and do their training and everything to do scout leading, and I did some assistant scout mastering there for a while with my boys troop in town. And that was when it was just starting to really change. And then in a couple of years, it went from being Boy Scouts to like Adventure Scouts.
Adventure
or something
Scouts
like that.
has been around for decades, but that was supposed to be where girls could participate. Girls who wanted to learn those skills could participate without disrupting
I
the
understand.
Boy Scouts.
Now they're amalgamating them all together.
You know how to sew? Fabulous. I need some instruction. No, I know how to sew, but I was trying to figure out how to sew quilt squares together, and my lock stitch was not working properly, and so I had to go through and do some more reviews so I could figure out how to do a straight lock stitch instead of using a sewing machine, because I don't have one. Well, that's because I keep distracting you with conversation. conversations about husbandry and wifery. I really do think that maybe I should write a book on the lost art of wifery.
Give it a whirl.
I wonder if that would ever
It's probably a market
sell.
that you'd be surprised.
Well, the homesteading thing is huge.
Yeah, it's very
So I could just imagine that a book called The Art of Wifery, a companion to the Book of Husbandry.
I think homesteading's taken off because a lot of Americans are waking up and being like, we have this big ass country with all this space, and we're so fucking maturity on our commercialism that we've really fucking forgotten.
We have forgotten, and it's sad because once that gets forgotten, there's no way to bring it back. I mean, look at all the culture that the Native Americans have lost, all the things that they were, simply because they have these traditions, and they're lost because their descendants want to go into the white man's world.
And we're not poor immigrants.
John Rambo sewing. Hey, I can do that kind of sewing too. Nursing school. Teach you how to stitch up a face. No.
Mhm.
They actually only teach that to doctors. They don't teach that to the nurses.
Suture?
They teach removing sutures, but they don't
They don't
teach
teach
putting in
suturing?
sutures.
Well, that's probably a procedure that has to be done by a medical board professional.
Yeah. I can remove sutures.
There's
Oh, look, you've got to...
And the reason for that is ding 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 ding, probably malpractice.
Yeah, there's lots of things that malpractice screwed up for society.
Well, you know,
It's all those people. Okay, the first judge who allowed people to sue for ridiculously stupid reasons. Like, there are legitimate reasons to sue, but like the lady who sued because her McDonald's coffee was hot, and the fact that a judge even allowed that started downward slant of societal capabilities. Who's outside my door? And why?
I swear this game hates me sometimes.
Did you get booted again?
No, it's just...
What do you want, child? Not right now.
And what's that there for?
Because we're on the TV. Wave at the TV. Say hello. Alright. Go read a book. Go find one of your unicorn
Princess
books.
Unicorn books. You were super excited about that, I expect.
Apparently the books that she got at Christmas were the ones that were already in her giant unicorn book. They were just individual. So we're gonna...
Princess. You're gonna have to give me 3 more.
I'm gonna have to get you 3 more, or Mom, I would really like it if you would please get me 3 more, because a 6-year-old doesn't tell me what to do. A 6-year-old can ask for things that she likes.
Can you get me?
I will look at that. That is something that I will look into.
Fireflies glowing at this light is sweet.
Right? Way too civilized for our own good. Say that one more time. What's coming soon?
Fireflies glow and feathers light.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at it, but not right today. How about you go read some books or play with your Barbie? Where's your Barbie from Grandma?
I think downstairs. I'll pick it up.
You may have one. Get it.
It says, oh,
I said I smell taco cheese.
what?
Hi.
I really do too.
Run along, child.
Maybe that's what
Tacos?
if we don't eat all the nacho cheese burritos, I'll make like a taco salad.
Ooh.
I have
like
meat.
walking taco?
I have hamburger meat and I have taco seasoning, but I don't have any of the veggies. So I guess if we're gonna do tacos, I'm gonna have to go to the store.
That's alright.
I can do meatloaf.
Okay.
I know you like meatloaf, and I've got stuff to make mashed potatoes.
I like meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
I might even have corn.
Yeah.
I have apples. I could make some homemade applesauce.
What's your favorite?
Homemade applesauce? Applesauce.
Meatloaf, mashed potatoes.
Corn and applesauce, yes, that is my favorite meal.
You can make all that if you want to. Don't let me stop you. All I'll do is eat it and say yum 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 yum.
Yum, yum, yum. I could order pizza.
Do whatever you want.
No, I will.
I will eat and say yum yum yum, whatever you decide.
Yum, yum.
Because I don't have to cook it.
I have my Cookie Monster bottom. Maybe I should make cookies.
Okay.
Make my Cookie Monster going now.
Oh shit!
Did you fall?
Yeah, but it didn't matter. It was
Are
okay.
you in your armor suit?
I am in an armor suit, yes.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm thinking back to like the idea of the AI thing. Because in the 1950s, that was like a huge dream. That's why you saw shows like The Jetsons and Doctor Who and the Star Wars and all of that. Like, all came out of the dreams of people who were kids in the... Well, Doctor Who was on long before the 50s, but, you know, the idea was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, where in society, at what point in society did we decide that utopia was not possible? And instead, we instead of living to create a world that was beautiful, we became turds that...
So, and then you're talking about in the 50s era, there was an experiment in the late 50s where they basically made a rat utopia. So they took a bunch of rats, they put them in a perfectly neutral environment, they gave them all the food, water, and sex they could possibly want, and after like a couple... Yeah, literally, that's where the rat's name comes from, is this experiment. After a while, they just went crazy. Some of them ate themselves, or other ones, some of them, which is actually kind of normal rat behavior, some of them just quit eating, would just stop eating. And plenty of food, everything they could want, they're perfectly healthy, but they just lay down and stop eating. Because there's really...
What was that show? The Firefly show? Serenity.
It's Firefly. Serenity is their attempt
At the movie.
at closure and
concluding, yes.
reboot and all that other stuff. Yes.
Okay. So, but that idea of the utopia where the people just stop.
It squashed the idea of utopia. Somehow we got it in our head that human beings couldn't achieve that. But human beings aren't rats. We're not rats.
Right.
Human beings like to explore.
As I say,
we're
we can always
creative.
challenge ourselves. We're very creative.
We're creative. So human beings, when they don't have to drudge away, can find something to do that's satisfying. There's all kinds of stuff for us to do. So somewhere along the line, once we did that research, behavioral research with rats, we decided that utopia wasn't an issue. And also, the condition of the world went from we won the war for freedom and goodness and rightness to a bunch of shit started happening. There was a bunch of political upheavals, a bunch of people got assassinated, there was a bunch of coups, there was a couple of wars, and it ended up leading into the war we've been in the Middle East for the last 30 or 40 years, and all that crap with 9/11 and all that shit.
Debbie says it was mice. And do you make your bolognese with pork meat or with beef meat? And I guess that makes sense when you have those people who were strong political leaders who had the value systems of creating that utopia superseded by people who were basically turds.
It's the same old story. It's as old as Jesus. But I mean, if you want a more modern time that fits into the area, the time frame we're talking about specifically in America, just look at like MLK or Malcolm X and their trials in prison and their public rise, and then eventually, with MLK preaching tolerance and peace, and look what happens. You know what I mean?
Well, he taught tolerance and peace, and
Shut that
the
down.
Black
It's not
Panther,
good for profit.
The Malcolm X was
He
pretty much
shitty.
teaching the opposite.
He turned that way towards the end because he just didn't see an out. He didn't see them winning. So in the end, he was like, obviously, we're not going to win at this game.
When Duffy comes to the United States, he's gonna make us spaghetti.
I totally fucking lost this. I like a beef bolognese. I guess that's a very American thing.
Beef bolognese?
A beef bolognese, yeah. Beef and red sauce.
I like beef and red sauce.
I do too.
I use it on my sloppy joes. I know you don't. You make really yummy actual sloppy joes. I make spaghetti sauce sloppy joes.
Yeah, I had to eat all the poor food on sandwich bread my whole life too.
I like some of the poor food is good food. I mean, look at my hamburger gravy over mashed potatoes, or it's yummy. I've told you, I like the hearty food.
So I totally failed this.
Is it a mission?
There's no way in hell I can get this done in 10 minutes. I basically have wandered around a circle for the last hour.
Well, it's 'cause I keep distracting you.
Haven't accomplished anything.
Duffy said he watched the mice experiment on YouTube, and it was very interesting.
I see.
We've talked about that before, the NIM experiment.
Mice are a very poor analog for human beings. It's just ridiculous. It was a very outdated. It's a very outdated concept, and the AI utopia is going to be the closest thing that we're going to get, and it's probably going to happen, whether we want it to or not. It's probably going to be the inevitable consequence of our freaking technology. I think, honestly, people will be fine. People will be fine without having to be garbage collectors, and people will be fine without having to be tomato pickers and lawn care people and all that stuff. And we should maybe even start looking at the way we change the topography of the planet and start building with concepts in mind to where we don't need to have a fucking golf course for a lawn. You know what I mean? And we don't need to monoculture our whole landscape and start building cities that are more spread out, more agrarian, and more environmentally
Well, I think that would be a good thing, although part of the reason that at least that Finley proclaims the need for manicured lawns is so that you aren't seeding grass that then gets picked up in the air and carried to all the surrounding farmlands.
Yes. But that again still is like thinking that we're going to be living in old farmhouses. We need to stop thinking about. We need to stop thinking about the way we live in concepts of how we have lived. We need to start being more imaginative about how we start living and how we start affecting our environment.
Like the houses that grow the plants in them. The
wall
Earthship.
Is Earthship bioarchitecture, which is a really good concept and idea because that utilizes materials that are absolutely free because they're garbage. It's all 100% recyclable. They're also a good idea because they tend to be 100% sustainable homes. So they tend to be off-the-grid homes that don't require infrastructure. I like Earthship bioarchitecture. We might be living in space stations or underground. Those are options too. We just want to have houses that we got to build up in the sky with big windows and all that shit, but it's unnecessary. And of course, if you start telling people that maybe we should live in space stations, or maybe we should build our homes to be covered in wildflowers and turf instead of, people are going to start thinking you're fucking crazy. But all that stuff is possible with our technology. Probably far more efficient than our current paradigm, and probably more long-lasting with more longevity.
Well, I mean, I look at some of the houses I've seen where like they have the plants are in the walls and become the filtration system for the water, a natural filtration system for the water, because it's filtered through the biome. Yeah, I just find that.
Fucking fast travel.
How's the game not being friendly today, dear?
I don't know. I'd like to see people start rethinking the way we do a lot of things, but I understand that realistically, it's just not going to happen. And I understand, like I say, I have the why. That the world is the way it is. I just understand why we all accept that that's just the way it's going to fucking be.
Because everybody thinks that someday they will be the one person with all that power. Or that somehow they will achieve all that power. W just said, clan way of life, no one person should have all the power. If
I'm cool with that.
If we, as humans, we focus on money and power. And everything we do is to be the person with the most money and the most power. Because somehow we've convinced ourselves that the only way to happiness is money and power.
Well, maybe that's why the utopia is unrealistic, because there's always going to be people who are going to control things in a way that makes it impossible.
Yeah. As long as we have the concept of money the way that we have the concept of money right now.
Well, it's like we were talking earlier about the David Rothschild thing on Twitter. And ownership just being faith. You know, faith that that money is going to have a value. When it's really just paper. Or ones and zeros.
Yeah, it used to be that people traded real things. So animals, food, property, real physical things for the services. So if you were a doctor and you provided medical care, or
you were a priest and everyone gave you a meal once
a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
I understand.
And you lived in the church, and like that simplicity created a more
They call it agrarianism,
yeah.
where everything you needed was provided to you within short travel distance. Everything you needed for survival. And the communities all provided it all themselves. We could go back to living that way. And once automation takes over, that's actually how we'll probably do things. We'll probably have a centralized location that produces most of what we need. And then we'll have distribution centers that are set up that are automated. So we won't actually be trucking fruit halfway across the country. We'll have a place where we produce it. We'll probably create it, bioengineered in vats, probably. We're already making meat that way. It probably won't be too long before we learn how to do fruit and vegetables that way. And we'll just produce it that way, and it'll just ship right through robot to our homes, and we'll have the food that we need. People always say, well, how are you going to have a society that builds all that stuff without someone building the robots and someone making it?
The robots eventually built themselves.
That could be a possibility with automation, although I don't think that that will ever happen fully for a long time. I think there's always going to be a need for people to kind of be there and program them and, you know, keep an eye on them and repair them. Sure. Yeah, there will be plenty of jobs for people to do, even with a society that's primarily fully automated.
352 Jeff says you're dehydrated.
Oh my gosh! Ah, yes. My virtual robot man needs fluids.
Oh, I was like, how does he know you're dehydrated? Are you...
All right.
You sitting there yellow-eyed?
352 Jeff. Robot designation 352 Jeff. Thank you for acknowledging us and telling... Oh, it's Darfellow. Hola, Darfellow.
You see it here a lot in Ireland. People only care about money. I see it everywhere. I saw it when I was in France. I saw it when I was in England. I saw it when I was in Germany.
France has no money. Sorry.
Do you realize? Okay, so I went to Italy and I bought a hand-blown wine glass set, and
Oh man.
like the skill for that was intense, but the amount of money that they charge is insane. insane.
Yeah. Americans pay it.
I know, I get that. I paid it. Hello,
You didn't take
I bought
You
it.
said MasterCard, you paid cash.
American Express.
Ah! They're like, yeah, we'll take your American Express.
Yes.
Mon frere.
Yes, greed is everywhere. Greed is in the heart of man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly the point. Because we have greed in our heart, because we want to be supreme, powerful, whatever, we just keep smushing other people. And the reality is we all have talents. We all have abilities. We all have gifts. And if we would just use them and support each other in using them, things would be so much better. You walked away. He walked away. Now I'm standing here talking to myself.
Oh my God, Kelly.
What?
My son just brought up a valid and interesting point.
Okay, I love valid and interesting
He overheard
points.
us talking about a utopia
Okay.
where no one owns anything. There's no concept of ownership. But,
Yes.
But the powerful few take over the world.
Yes.
And tell her
Yes. It made me think of like Karl Marx putting all these things into the book, and was like, this can't work because people are going to be greedy and going to try to take over. Because like in the
Socialism.
Yes.
Socialism
You're talking about
doesn't
the birth
work.
of
Yes.
Socialism does not work.
Yes. Socialism does not work. And yes, that is exactly why. I know I'm talking to you, Duffy.
But
I just meant you walked away and didn't give me a response.
It's kind of the same thing, what we're saying. When we're talking about there not being ownership, we're talking about something, a concept a little bit different. In his idea, all the possessions of the world belong to all the peoples, belongs
Yes.
to everyone. That concept allows the few to take over that and say, well, since it belongs to everyone, we need oversight to distribute it to the people. And then that allows the few and the greedy to take
that's
over.
when communism turns into socialism.
That's
Well,
socialism turns into communism.
What we're suggesting is a world where people don't get to say it owns its. There is no concept of ownership, so it doesn't belong to the people. These are things
It
that
just
exist.
exists.
They exist in the world. It
And
is-
you have a need, and you're going to fulfill your need. You're not going to fulfill over your need. You're not going to hoard beyond what your momentary requirements are. You're just going to utilize from the existing.
And you don't have a right to take from another via what you need, nor should you ever need to take from another to have what you want and you need. And you can even have more than just your. We're not talking about living a Spartan lifestyle where we're all trained as babes to be brutal, sinuous murderers with spears, living only on the basic gruel and
I'm
sleeping on a
already a
hard mat.
sinuous murderer that lives on gruel.
It's not a Spartan lifestyle, so there will be plenty too. I'm not suggesting that we're all barely going to get grain, and there's people who will tell you that that's what the world will be. If we feed and clothe every child, boy, there'll not be enough for us to go around. Because
statistically,
bullshit.
here's one of those fun facts that I learned in college. Statistically, if every person who claimed Christianity actually gave 10% of their income to the church would be able to feed and clothe every person who was of indigent status.
And that's probably on top of what they're already funding. That
Yes.
could just be they take all of their resources and do nothing but feed and clothe.
No. It was
On
being
top
able
of
to
their
yes, on
the
top
church
of their already capable.
builds all kinds of shit and feeds all kinds of people.
Yes, but
They're
this
already
was
doing that.
worldwide, that there would be no more hunger and starvation because
Oh,
if
sure.
10%, that means you're still living on 90% of your income. If you gave 10% to the church would then be able to. Now that's assuming that you're not at a church that is.
Just beat up the greedy. Beat up the greedy. Sorry.
if you're not at a church that is, not following biblical practices, if you're at, not, all those things. Yes, sir.
Anytime, come here.
Shoot the greedy.
My box broke.
Your
What do you
box
mean
broke?
Your box broke.
Oh,
I
it's
mean, my box.
Keep your fingers
Broke.
out of your box. Jeez.
I need some wood glue and a hammer.
I need wood
You don't need
glue
wood
and a
glue.
screw so that I can fix my rocking chair that's been broken for 9
I
months.
just thought it was interesting
So-
that you had already become
Goodbye.
well versed in the birth of
It's
socialism and
it's
communism.
'cause
You're learning
we-
about that in social studies.
No, we read an allegory of it in English language arts called MMoRpg.
I love that book!
Kill the humans!
I love that
And
book.
then basically at the end, once they get rid of all the humans, what happens? There's still a bunch of buttholes running everything.
Yep.
It just means that when you get rid
Orson
of one
Welles
set
is
of
a
buttholes,
genius.
another set of buttholes rises up.
Wells was a genius.
He was a genius.
A freaking genius. That
You
dude
should
was
read 1984?
1984.
Yeah, you should read 1984
And
next.
hey, a reality where people are able to control our thoughts is not so unrealistic. Mind and emotional control could be a reality because we're already looking at augmenting people's brains. And it might not be too far away to where you have a controller in your mind that will allow you to forget things if you want to.
That's terrible.
And if you have a
Bad
piece of
things that
technology
happen
in your mind,
life are the things that make you who you are.
also might give someone access to reprogram your brain.
Ugh,
Yeah.
So
that's
but
creepy
that's
stuff.
that's a potential reality, and in terms of technology, we're working on that now currently, and we're not far away from that. We're already got all kinds of implants that let us do a variety of things, everything from control robot legs from halfway across the world to pick your favorite TV show or browse the internet without using your hands, just using your mind and your eyes.
Duffy, I agree. If they could stop infighting and bickering among themselves,
They could.
and they could come together as they're supposed to, as one body under Christ, to do what they are supposed to do, feed the poor, the hungry, and take care of the widows and the orphans, yes. Right now there's so much infighting, and my way of interpreting is better than your way of interpreting, and, I'm going to heaven and you're going to hell, and instead of following and saying we're all going to love each other, we keep screwing it up by saying my way, instead of Christ's way. But yes, I agree. They could end poverty right now if they would just get off their...
I kind of liked Frankie
Pedestals.
up to the point where he was getting real touchy and real dismissive about the scandals
that the new pope?
with the church. Francis, yes, Frankie,
Wow.
yes, and he's very radical
Mhm.
as far as Catholic Pope goes. He's pretty radical. But I used to be a pretty good fan of him. But in the last year or so, he's kind of been a turd about some things. I don't know what's changed in him, and he
Power?
kind of turned into a butthole. I liked he straight up admitted stealing the relic and the rosary, and I always thought that was pretty cool of him. And he had some pretty radical stances on some other things, like some marriage and the poor and some things like that. But the whole
Third fellow, are you saying it's better to pocket the money yourself?
selfishness.
Or are
is
you
there.
saying the church is pocketing the money?
I think he's saying, screw those people.
Oh.
I gotta eat too.
But we're not saying for you not to eat. It's 90%. 90% to yourself.
Maybe he's saying that in terms of a utopia where ownership doesn't exist, that it's better to have a sense of,
Of ownership.
of selfishness. Conjecture.
Frankie.
Hello, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe. We ate the whole bag. There's no tacos. Tacos are canceled.
Oh, man.
One.
Bye, El.
I can fast travel now.
Oh, Steve, did you lose enough weight now?
Yeah.
Oh, you tubby.
Great.
Tubby hubby.
Did you hear about? Did the Labour Party finally sort it out with the ministered government in Britain on Brexit? Did they? Duffy, you would probably
I
know.
haven't heard it. Duff.
Did they seal the deal? Did the Labour Party accept a deal from the Prime Minister for Brexit? Do you know? Because I haven't been paying attention to the news.
Our fellow, usually those with the star are the ones that share the most.
That's true.
More questions, both of which I probably know the answer to. One, can I have a soda?
Do you really need me to answer that?
Go
So I
ahead.
said, no, probably know the answer, but two, and person's answer is going, no, am I allowed to take it upstairs?
Deep breaths. Slow, slow.
Do I really have to answer that?
No.
Okay.
Hell yeah. You wanna go for a walk? Can we go for a walk?
Yeah. You
Yeah, go exercise. Get that tubby off your belly.
Hey!
I love you.
I'm sure you guys can find your way back.
Yeah, anywhere good that I can come back from.
Just leave little crumbs.
Ooh, Hansel and Gretel, just make sure the birds aren't
Don't
eating.
let Alex eat them all.
Hey! That's only with donuts.
Oh, then they'll just pick up police officers. They just have much cops all here.
Don't make me throw shit at you.
I think we should probably get out before they, tear each other. Well, she tears him apart and he does something.
I'll just sit in her lap and cry like usual.
Go on.
Have fun, children. Look both ways before you cross the street. Do not take candy from strangers.
Aww. That's my favorite place to get candy from.
Good lord.
And the walk.
He's been in drunk stupor for a few days, so he has no idea.
What?
Yeah.
Duffy, you say that like that's an oddity.
That's okay. I mean, I didn't think he was too worried about whether or not, it's going through per se. I know he may not be the big fan of
Yes, I don't say God hail the Queen when Duffy's on
But
the feed.
I just feel you may have heard it in the news. I haven't been watching either. I've kind of been wandering around in a stupor myself, so I hadn't really. I know there was threats of violence and concern about violence in the streets, and the Prime Minister lady was saying that she was going to reinforce the neighborhoods with patrolmen.
She also said pedophiles should be able to adopt kids.
Well,
She's an idiot.
The Labour Party was like, no deal, take it, shove it, and that's causing some economic and social woe. And unfortunately, that affects everybody. I'm sure that the world says the same thing when America seems like it's gonna implode. They're like,
Is it yellow vest?
uh,
Oh, nuke codes are fun. My husband dropped a nuke on his own head the other day.
oh, cool. We got the new code for Charlie. We've got.
I have the nuke code for Beta, Alpha, and Charlie. Are you kidding me? I know them all.
We have some key cards too. We've got a couple of key cards, so if not today, probably tomorrow in the evening, we'll look at dropping a nuke on the golf course if you want to farm it for legendary drops. Get easy legendaries.
Drop it on your own head. I want to see that.
No,
I want to watch it come down on your head.
I already dropped one on my head.
Ooh, fun. Take pictures, add it to the community.
Cool. Yeah. If you want help doing the silos, I've done beta a bunch of times, so I can help you with that. If you need a hand.
I'm fun.
I don't know where to put this fucking
Tell you where to put it.
General Kelly. Okay.
Fun. Here's the code.
Sweet. Cool. Put it up there, they're just gonna break it.
They're gonna break it no matter where you put it, so just put it
I
down.
think if I put it like up here on this thing, it'll be a lot harder for guys to break it.
It won't go up there. Oh wait, there it went.
I bet it will. I bet I can get it up.
Get it up there, baby. Get it up there. Woo
Yeah,
woo.
see? It worked.
Ooh. Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah.
Good wife for making it for you.
Yeah. Have a good evening, man. Takes 30. Thank you, child.
I have orange fingers now. I love that you guys call him 352. Is his robot designation.
It is.
It makes me think of Travelers. I am
Yes.
Traveler 352.
Traveler designation 48970. You are required to stand down. By order of the, what's the robot called again? The administrator?
No. Director.
By order of the director. This is a pretty good sci-fi show. I like the concept and I like how they executed it. That basically they're just kind of downloading consciousness. I'm thinking they're not really.
Well, and apparently they do it over multiple lifetimes, because the one guy was like, you know how many lifetimes I've lived?
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like the show. Still looking forward to more Takeshi Kovacs.
I thought that one was canceled.
No. They didn't. I don't think they canceled Alter Carbon. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that.
Well, now I gotta look.
Yes, look.
My Facebook blew up for some reason. Hold on, I'm looking at that, and then I'll look to see if they're
Well,
for Carbon.
I'm pretty sure Alter Carbon's gonna be back for another.
How many seasons is it right now?
I don't know. It's in its second. It'll be in its second if they release a new one. I'm sure Netflix is working on it though.
People agreeing that it's great that they're teaching the Hunter's Ed course in Iowa. Somebody, Olivia Johnson, is friend requesting.
I am looking forward to Anthem. It's the only games I bought this year. I think were Red Dead Redemption, Fallout, and Anthem. And I pre-ordered all three of them as soon as I found out about them and that they were coming out. And anymore, I'm pretty careful not to get too much exposure on the game because I don't want this preconceived idea of what I'm supposed to get. I think a lot of people's problem nowadays is they get so hyped up about what they want or what they expect out of a game that they forget how to just enjoy what they get.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have a lot of expectations out of the gaming industry that aren't realistic. I think it's really difficult to program this shit, and I think people misunderstand the difficulty of making these games work sometimes. So I try not to watch the vids or see the trailers or because I just don't want to be disappointed because I don't want some person who's just a critic or just an opinion person online just to give me some idea about something that I'm supposed to get that I'm not going to end up getting because it's not realistic onto the product. I like the concept of the javelins. I've always really liked the whole armor thing. Like that's a science fiction thing that I've been obsessed with since I was a little kid. Not just Iron Man, but some of the sci-fi greats out of the 80s really did the whole armor thing.
Oh, this is gonna be like a Doctor Who show.
It looks executed well, and the graphics look pretty good on what I've seen, because I've seen some short clips from the developers. I ordered the Uber Mega Edition because lately that's what I've done on the few games I'm really excited for. I ordered the Uber Mega Edition. The only thing I haven't ordered the Uber Edition on that I was a little sad that I didn't get was Cyberpunk. I didn't do the Cyberpunk. I didn't even pre-order it. But CD Projekt Red didn't make any noise about it either, so I didn't really think about it much. And now I know it's coming up soon, and I didn't sink my money into that one. I'll definitely be picking it up at some point, but I'm probably not going to go my normal pre-order Uber Collector's Edition route that I tend to go with these games that I really like.
Altered Carbon is going to be the new Doctor Who.
Alter Carbon is amazeballs.
No, I mean like the
books are
idea that
fantastic.
your main character just changes into a new form?
Yeah, the books are amazing. I read those 3 books 2 or 3 years ago. I got through one of them on audiobook, and the very beginning of the book, it's talking about the guy with like 2 Heckler Koch 40 Smith & Wessons. And I'm like, okay, you got me right there, his armament. And then it is very solid science fiction. And also a plausible reality. That could be a reality that we could be living under at some point, where we really just have reciprocated cloned bodies that we can just pop into a new body. That's not far-fetched technology.
Production started in October.
Oh, cool. Cool. Got a release date on that. Mamma Jamma.
Sometime in the first half of 2019 is all I'm getting. They're saying probably not in February.
Let me see here. Can't see the comments anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. Cyberpunk looks amazing. It really does. And, you know, we've been talking Cyberpunk for the last 2 hours, really. Not the game specifically, but just as a genre.
Explain.
The advent of technology and its mesh with human beings.
Oh.
So when we're talking about augmented, you know, brain implants and, you know, prosthetic limbs and which there already are people who have prosthetic limbs that can run a race faster and climb a mountain faster than someone with normal limbs.
Well, they've been talking about the fact that they've been connecting the cyber limbs into the brainstem so that people could actually control them with thought instead of with...
Yeah, they've already... Yeah, they've
That's been on the market for a while now.
Yep. Yeah, I remember seeing the first test that we did on chimpanzees with those. The very first incarnation of that was this large tube that they actually had to implant in the skull. You had this thing sticking out of your head like that. But I'm sure the technology now has advanced.
Now it just goes right up through the arm.
Into the nerve, yeah. I knew that we'd be connecting with the nerve cells at some point.
Well, they've already made paraplegics capable of walking.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing.
And didn't they transplant the first brain?
Now, the human head transplant thing's weird. There's a Soviet scientist who said he did it successful with a canine, and that the canine lived for like 18 hours, and that they euthanized the animal for humane concerns. And then the Soviet scientists started bragging about how he was ready to do it for humans. They were ready to just jump right in to try it on a human trial. Well, this also just happened to be around the time where the Rockefeller was turning like 104 or something like that, and he was deathly ill. And just about the time he died, that disappeared, and then they started trying to say it was all a hoax, like that the technology never worked. So I don't know what happened with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it a whirl on a human being and are just trying to keep it a secret because they don't want people to know that
It failed? Or cheated?
that more importantly it works. They don't want people to know that if your body gets mangled, they can potentially take your head, put it in a bag, and then pop it back on a new body, and boom.
Mommy's still alive.
Yep.
Creepy.
Yeah. It's pretty creepy. It's like the George Nixon and the thing on Futurama, the George Nixon head.
Yeah.
Inside the
They have all the president's heads, although I don't think they had Trump.
No, they didn't have Trump yet.
Do you like your slippers, dear? Those are the ones your mom got you, aren't they?
Yeah. These are just a
They
little...
look nice, warm, and fuzzy.
They are. They're easy to step in and out of, so they're nice for just lounging around the house. I'm going to take them off real quick. The other one's got the back, so
I know, I got you loafers.
they're a little bit harder to take on and off, so better for walking around more.
Wasn't that a movie? The guy downloading himself into the supercomputer?
Well, I'm sure there's been some movies like that, yeah.
One-way trip, he says. He said it was a one-way trip. There was, that's been, lots of videos, movies have been made on that. There was just one, what was that one we were watching where, it had the oh, I can't think of it now. I can picture it in my head and I can't think of it.
He downloads himself into a computer.
It was a computer body. Like, he downloaded himself into a computer body and his body died. And then he went through a whole bunch of stuff with, like, real people. And then one of them died, and as they were dying, he transferred their consciousness over and uploaded them into a body. We were watching it, like, 6 months ago. And for the life of me, I can't think of what it is right now. He says, no real life in the news, some young guy. No, I hadn't heard about that as an actual thing.
Interesting. I'll look into that. See what they're trying to do. If he's trying to actually copy his consciousness completely, or if he's trying to augment himself into some AI or something. That's interesting. Let's take a look, gander at that.
Downloads brain into
Freaky.
It's called whole brain emulation, or a mind upload, mind copying, mind transfer. They're calling it a hypothetical futuristic process of scanning the mental state of a particular brain substrate and copying it into a computer.
Yep. There you go. So it begins.
According to the UK, May 25th, 2015, humans could download brains into a computer and live forever. That was in the Telegraph.
Yeah, that's conceptually what you'd be getting at there.
Because the brain works like a complex circuit board, it could be recreated on a computer. Oh, what? Is that it? Alright, a billionaire, Sam Altman, pays to be killed and have his brain uploaded into, or brain downloaded.
He's paid to be
A
killed?
tech billionaire is among a select group of very rich people who have paid $10,000 or 7,100 pounds to be killed so that they can have their brains downloaded into a computer. Sam Altman, 32, is one of 25 people who are on the waiting list at ect.All, a startup firm that promises to download a person's brain into a computer after death. But the only way to get the contents from the brain is for the person to be killed in a legal, doctor-assisted suicide. On average, America, or only available in America in 5 states.
Yep.
Because those are the 5 states that allow you to have
Doctor-assisted suicide.
doctor-assisted suicide. Altman is head of Y Combinator and OpenAI. He became a tech superstar in 2014, and he was appointed CEO of Y Combinator, a firm which has birthed about 50 billion or 35 billion pounds worth of startups, including Dropbox and Airbnb. Nectame teases those who want to sign up by asking, what if we told you we could back up your mind? Nectame's co-founder Robert McIntyre told MIT Technology Review the user experience will be identical to physician-assisted suicide. The business embalms the brain and downloads it into a computer for future use, the publication reports. Additionally, the company's website claims that it will be able to preserve your brain well enough to keep all of its memories intact, from the great chapter of your favorite book to the feeling of cold winter air, baking an apple pie, or having dinner with your friends and family. Adding, we believe that within the current century it will be feasible to digitize this information and use it to recreate your consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah. Digital immortality.
The brain must be fresh in order for it to work. Nectame believes that its business could help the terminally ill who wish to use physician-assisted suicide to preserve their memories. The head of the firm claims that their business model is completely legal, and scientists believe that this type of practice could become commonplace in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Sick and disgusting people. We're going to kill people so that they stop experiencing real life, so that they can save.
Well, the technology doesn't even work necessarily yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in its conceptual stages. They're just testing it. It's beta testing, so imagine beta testing Pong, except with your brain.
Sounds like a con. It sounds very much like a con. Yeah, here's a couple $1 billion. We'll download your brain, and someday we'll come up with a way to give you a body. Well, by then we'll spend all the billions and billions of dollars that you gave us. Crazy.
Like, well, and it may,
Right?
someday it'll work.
Scary as shit.
Someday it'll work.
It may.
Someday we'll be able to digitize people's.
But are we gonna? Right now, oh, I know. I was watching.
Come time people figure that out.
NCIS. It was one of those shows, and they were doing a thing where they went into an AI development location, and they were using question and answer to transfer the information. So once your information was uploaded, you were only uploaded to the point of that last moment. So like anything that happened in your day, you would then download by describing in detail to the AI. And you describe everything throughout your entire life. And so all your memories are in there, but only up to and your decision-making capabilities based on questions, but only up to the point that your life would end. Like, only up to your last download. And then after your last download, then that creature can, or that AI can go on living. It's not like you're actually living, like you're not still experiencing it, but your experiences live on.
I don't know what show it is, but I understand what you're saying. I think they've used something similar to that to recreate three-dimensional holograms of famous people that you can actually converse with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a perfect match, but just based on a lot of things like the language, the way that people talk, colloquialisms, they would say, past experiences, they're implanted in there so that you get kind of a
what they may say, what
an
might
artificial
have been.
representation of what that person would be like if they were still accessible.
Yes. lots and lots of scary stuff in the news.
Oh yeah. Hey, I told you we're getting ready to enter into an age of miracles and fucking monsters. We're gonna literally see miracles of technology, and we're gonna see monstrous fucking shit at the same time. We're at that stage in kind of the process of the human evolution, and it may not be soon, but it's going to be within the next 20 or 30 years. Shit's going to go apeshit. The world's going to turn upside down. So much stuff is going to happen, and it's probably going to happen in such quick succession that a lot of people are going to be left shocked, dumbfounded.
Oh, let's see. Well, imagine this. Death of police officers on duty rise in the United States.
There is a lot of positive things going on right now. We've got an AI that's really, really good at finding cancer now in scans. Really, way better than a person. We've cracked some pretty good other medical issues. We've gotten pretty good at subduing HIV, and we've got some really good new cancer treatments going on the way. And then we've got some really interesting stuff with viral DNA going on, as well as some pretty good stuff with paraplegia, nerve and tissue damage, nervous system damage. We're landing on Mars. We got a launch window set for 2024 with SpaceX. They're going to send a group of people to Mars, and they're going to set up a living space there. They've developed this huge rocket, which is going to be like a city in rocket size, and they're going to launch that at Mars with a pretty solid group of people to set up a permanent base.
The base.
Yeah, and they've developed a new technology that allows them to make oxygen out of the CO2 atmosphere of
Nice.
Mars, so they've got endless rebreathing. They've cracked that. The only problem we have right now is water. That's the only real issue that they're looking at in terms of...
Can they combine? Do they have the elements to combine to make it?
There's ice. They just got to get the ice, but there is ice. So they'll
Gotta be
be...
careful with that, because you know what gets frozen in the ice?
There is...
Germs and viruses.
There is compounds for basic organic life on Mars, so that is a potential problem, but we have technology that can filter and sterilize the water, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Debbie says wait until the aliens introduce themselves. That'll be fun.
You should check out Unacknowledged on YouTube if you haven't watched it, or I believe it's on Netflix now. There's a documentary called Unacknowledged, where it's this guy who's like this dude with like 7 PhDs, and he's an aerospace engineer and a technology expert, and he says that the governments of the world have technology that would look like aliens. Like, the technology is so bizarre and advanced that it would seem like aliens. And he says there might actually start a false flag event where they tell everyone that we're being visited by aliens so they can get us all to get in line, get us all to behave. So they're talking about creating a false alien encounter to unify the governments of the world, and it's going to be spearheaded by these secret black book operations funded in through the Department of Defense. Pretty crazy. It's called Unacknowledged on YouTube, and I think it's on Netflix too, but it's pretty much it.
BBC News, let's see. They're fighting over a Christmas tree.
No word of Brexit?
Haven't seen one yet. Rapper Lil Pump criticized for racist gestures.
If they're talking that bullshit, then there's been no vote. Then they haven't made an agreement.
YouTube Rewind Backlash sparks unofficial best of 2018 videos.
This is literally the most inconsequential information in the fucking whole of human history. But of course, this is front page fucking news in BBC.
Miss USA sorry for offending contestants over lack of English.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Cancer patients not welcome in Russia neighborhood.
That might actually be news.
A bid by some Moscow residents to have a young cancer patient removed from their neighborhood has caused a stir on social media in Russia. Instagram tightens eating disorder filters after BBC investigation. YouTube Rewind 2018 became site's second most disliked video. Hype beasts of Russia popular at what cost? YouTube deletes cheating videos after BBC investigation.
Cheating? You mean like husband-wife cheating?
YouTube has deleted thousands of videos promoting academic cheating in the last week.
Oh, test score cheating.
The videos all advertise essay writing services, which lead to serious penalties for students.
You get expulsion for that.
That's basically it. That's the BBC trending news right now.
Yeah, which makes me think that the vote has not went through yet, because that sounds like bells and fucking whistles to me.
Latest U.S. and world news. No children have died in U.S. custody.
That's
and
not
then
true.
2 deaths this in a decade, and then 2 this month.
I was gonna say, just 2 kids just died in the last 2 weeks. One of them died at midnight on Christmas fucking Eve. On Christmas
sad.
at midnight, a 8-year-old boy from Guatemala.
They have some false article that the woman Americans most admire is Michelle Obama.
I admire the size and shape of her hands. If I had hands like that, I could grip a basketball like it'd be nobody's business.
I admire how she could stand in the White House and talk about how she hated America and think that it was okay.
My favorite time is when she lied to the world, the organization for the World Olympics, and told them she sat in her daddy's lap and watched Jackie run the fucking quarter mile or whatever and get the world gold record. And they were like, you were 25 and he was like 70. That's a little weird.
Who knows? Maybe she was sitting on her daddy's
Oh,
lap
and that
at
time
the
she called her daughters fat on national TV in front of them.
Yes.
She's like, y'all are fat.
The struggle to quit vaping. It was hell.
The struggle is real.
Heat wave shatters records in Australia.
Ooh, what's up? Stuff exciting.
New Trump border fencing coming in 2019.
She has. Oh my god.
Duffy!
Oh my god. I am not repeating that, but that's funny. She does kind of got a weird little bulge down there. I gotta admit. Strange.
You guys are terrible. What's not with NASA? Mars.
He says that
Mars
we're not
is
going
never
to go
gonna
with
happen
NASA.
with NASA.
Yeah, not with NASA. It was SpaceX, dude. SpaceX is going to do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's been planning that for a
Elon
while.
Musk
I
is-
don't have the other one. Did you delete it?
He's pretty hardcore about it. I've seen his plans for his rocket, and they've been doing all those reusable rocket tests to land these rockets on really rough terrain. And I have a feeling he's going to try. He's going to.
She knows.
She knows. Yes, she knows. Yeah, yes, she knows.
Duffy!
Hell yeah, she do.
She knows. She knows with my Lanta. I have seen some pretty interesting pictures. But what was that one that I was looking at the other day that I was like, does that chick look like she's got a... And you looked at it and she was like, you were like, yeah.
Oh, it was some cartoon thing. It was like a cartoon of a girl, or something. I don't know.
A girl.
Grabbing a dude from behind, right? And it was, the caption was, "Don't you just love or have a bad day and your
And
girl."
she cuddles
and
you
she
or
cuddles
something
you
like
from
that. It was
behind.
something really sweet. And then
And
you
you
look at
looked
the
up,
picture and she's got a
And
wanker.
there's a weird bulge in her underwear. I'm like, what is wrong with the world? You tricked me into that. I feel raped. My eyes have been raped.
I had to make sure that I wasn't just like crazy.
No, you aren't crazy.
Duffy says he's going to Mars.
Oh, yeah. Nice. They actually were taking applications for that, so if you have a marketable skill, you should
I have no desire to leave our atmosphere.
reach
ever.
out to SpaceX. Oh, you gotta have big ass balls to get in that rocket and be flown for
No.
18 months through the galaxies to
There is not enough
the
sunlight on
faraway
that.
space planet lands.
Mm-mm. I'll stay here.
Earth does feel really
I'll mind
comfy,
the goats.
doesn't it? You'll mind the goats. While the space people go.
Yep. I'll mind the goats and the chickens. They can go do the spacewalks.
You want to be an Earther.
I am an Urter.
Well, us Belters don't like you Earthers.
I'll make you like me. Go on.
You can't make a person like you. It doesn't work.
I'm your wife. I'll make you like me.
If you love them, let them go.
I'll remind you of that as I make you go sleep on the couch tonight.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Sleeping on
Duffy
the...
says, whoop! And you know he said it with that kind of excitement. Oh. Oh, let's see. Back to my newsreel. What else we got?
There will be nothing good in there.
4-year-old who has lived in a hospital her whole life is finally getting to go home.
Oh, well, that's good.
Santa makes deliveries in war-torn Iraq.
Oh, high five, Santa Claus. Santa, he's our man.
Tamal Nadu donor attempts to commit suicide after infecting pregnant women with HIV.
What? Damn it.
I know, I was giving you good things and then...
Like, I don't see enough terrible shit all the time.
Love you too.
Fuck. It's just that kind of insane shit that just...
Oh, let's see what BuzzFeed says is trending right now. That should be
Poor guy was probably
terrible.
like, I finally got laid and now I have...
Kim Kardashian photos broke the internet.
That was a long time ago.
It's from 2 hours ago.
Again? Kim?
15 things Taco Bell had growing up that you 100% forgot about that we'll remember as soon as you hear them.
Nope. Maxi Melts? Got him.
Everyone been saying one lyric in J-Lo's I'm Real wrong for years.
Oh, what?
27 make-ahead breakfasts that are actually good for you.
Ooh, sweet.
Only people with perfect color vision can see these cupcakes accurately.
What?
Okay. Instapot tips for beginners and Sniffles, the noseless dog.
What?
It's a dog. He doesn't have a nose, poor thing.
Why would I want to see that? I could live my whole life without seeing a schnauzer without a
Oh, Bird Box tweets you can't help but laugh at.
Oh.
Let's see, everyone has a character in Bird Box they perfectly relate to.
Every time someone says Bird Box, I can't help but think Snatch.
Seriously? Why does Bird Box?
Cockpit? Why does cockpit?
Neither one of those are things that I ever associated with a vagina.
Well, you know.
Neither one.
You're not 12.
And I'm not a boy.
Uranus.
Uranus.
No, it's Uranus.
Okay. Well, maybe I shouldn't read these because these got spoilers.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah, but not everybody that's gonna pop on your feed has.
Put your earmuffs on if you haven't seen the movie.
Yes, okay. So, do y'all hear something? No, nope. I'm Helen Keller in this. I don't hear not a damn thing. Somebody say something. Something was said, and then
I'll do that.
I can't read the one under Mrs. Puff's face. Okay, well, Douglas, I'm telling y'all, we can't trust him. Everybody else. Okay, didn't get that at all. Mallory, okay, someone is going to have to look. Boy, I'll do it. Mallory, no, I'm going to choose who looks. Girl, nothing. This was me trying to see through the blindfold every time we got that point of view, right? Squinty eyes.
I do the TV all the time.
I know
so.
you do. Where are your glasses, by the way?
I don't
put
know.
your glasses on before
I've got a headache already.
I know. I'm sitting right here, dear. Everyone, so you think you can look through the security camera at the entity without being affected? Would that really work? No. We sat there as soon as they said that. We were like, no, don't do that. That's dumb.
Carbon images.
It is the oh my gosh. Weeping Angels. I know, I turn everything back to Doctor Who, don't I?
You Whovians in your Whoville. Alright, well it's time to drop things. Unfortunately, every so often in this game, I get to the point where it's drop thing time. And now it's drop things. I can't part with my Gauss rifle.
You are such a pack rat.
I can't part with my...
game.
I might need a beer hat. You never know.
You're gonna need a what?
A beer hat. I may need that.
You do not need a beer hat.
I might want to drink beer. 3 of them. Well, 4. Simultaneously.
You do not need a beer hat.
Oh, come on.
You do not need a beer hat.
It only weighs 0.5 pounds.
You don't need a beer hat.
What about squirrel on a stick?
That you need. It gives you food.
What about stealth boy?
I don't know what that is.
It makes me stealthy.
You are stealthy.
It turns me into a boy.
Boy, oh boy. Swing blade? You mean sling blade?
Mm-hmm. I like mine with mustard.
Women with hairy arms.
I like my women with arms that are hairy.
It says you should stream on Twitch in the talk show category. You'll get more views. We were on there earlier, and nobody was chatting with us, so I made him pop over here so that people would chat with us.
We were in just the Fallout, just in gaming and in Fallout.
Oh.
And I'm not sure how to switch it to that all the time. I wonder if I can do that and still play Fallout. Or if I just should sit and get some cameras.
I could put Twitch on my phone and we could stream the Twitch from my phone, but I have mine set up under my account.
I should probably put on some pants for that though.
You have have on pants, dork? You mean real pants? Not my Batman pants?
Surprised I'm not wearing the Fallout pants.
Batman. I liked him as Batman better than I liked the current Batman.
What? You don't like?
I can't even remember his name. That's how much I don't care about him.
You don't like taco flavored kisses for my Ben?
Ben Affleck, that's right.
Oh,
That one.
Ben! I love you, Ben! Let me give you taco flavored kisses!
I so don't understand that.
My name is Jennifer Lopez. I like tacos and burritos.
You say you don't like that show.
What are you talking about?
And she's all like, I love my Ben. And she does a little dance.
The only person I've ever seen have a talking hand was Pee Wee Herman.
It kind of ends, that episode kind of ends with a very Pee Wee
Did he
Herman-esque.
call her Mrs. Handy or something like that?
And that is how that ends, basically, yeah. But I don't think money is exchanged. I just think, well, maybe money is exchanged.
He says he just saw Sling Bling and it was really good. And then he's laughing. I'm dying with the hand thing. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, now I know how to get a laugh out of you any day of the week. I just need some lipstick and a little wig. I'll make the wig out of, like, yarn or something. Put some meat stick on there, and I will name her Henny.
What are you doing? Where did that come from?
A show?
Obviously, because you're like, it's a show I don't like, which, you know, there's several of those.
It's from South Park.
Oh, that would explain why I had no idea what you were talking about. Oh. I'm dying over here now, thanks.
And she does a
That
little
was good.
song, and they go to the mall, and she makes a music video.
Honey, no.
You've seen it. I know you've seen it.
I haven't.
I know you haven't.
The hand puppet was from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I don't remember the ham of it. I mean, I remember a lot of her shit from Pete's Playhouse.
Oh, now I gotta look it
I
up.
don't remember him doing. Oh, that's right. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'll take it back. I do. In the door. In the stupid flappy door. Flappy door frame. Man, you probably did call it handy. It's just so wrong.
Oh my
That makes a
gosh.
lot more sense, you know, looking back. Doesn't it?
Oh, my mommy's calling me. Hi, Mom. Now I just smacked myself in the face with my phone.
Oh, she's supposed to be going to a movie today, isn't she?
Well, that was yesterday, dear.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what, Mom? Oh, that's good. Do we need anything? Mom is out and about and asking if we need anything. Lettuce? And taco
lettuce-
shells?
Well, I guess. I don't know. If you got lettuce.
Taco ingredients?
We could have meat. Just
I have the meat. I have meat and I have taco seasoning, but I don't have anything else.
cheese. All you don't have is lettuce, right? And
I
taco
don't have
shells.
lettuce or tomatoes. I do have onions.
We should make your mom fry bread and invite her over sometime soon.
Yes, we do need to make Mom fry bread and invite her over soon.
Okay.
if we didn't have to spend Saturday and Sunday at your mom's, I would say this weekend.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next. Well, maybe next weekend, not this weekend, but maybe next weekend we'll do wine and brie and rook and fried bread.
Okay.
Okay? Sounds good to me too. Okay. Sun-dried tomatoes. If you go to Kroger, are you going on 6th Street? Yeah. Oh, well, didn't know if you needed more. Those were smelly. I have mozzarella cheese. If you want to bring me the rest of the stuff, I will give you pizza cheese or mozzarella cheese, whichever you want. Actually, let me go make sure I have those in the fridge.
She doesn't have to bring us anything. Oh, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Well, we used to do some other stuff too. I used to do some other types of shows and things where we'd already do like news and stuff like that before. So it's become kind of natural that we just kind of sit and discuss that kind of stuff in conversation. And that helps a bit, you know. And she's considering doing some other things I've been talking to her about in broadcasting. And I've done some broadcasting, some too, so in some other settings, and so she's we'll look into trying that stuff out, see where it leads. I appreciate the advice.
You sent me one this morning, but all I could pull up was your profile. So it kept taking me to your about.me profile. Yeah, it was the first thing you sent me this morning. Okay. All right. All right. Love you. Mwah. Bye. Sorry, he's cracking me up. Yes. onion and cheese are all we really peppers with. Right? I've been telling him forever that he needed to turn the camera on for like a year.
Yeah.
People like seeing your mug, babe. I like seeing your mug, babe.
But my mug's not in here. I don't have my mug. All I have is my Viking horn. Urgh.
I do like your Viking horn. Your Viking horn was cool. Do you know, I should get my mug. I need to get a mug that says, "Who needs Google? My husband knows everything."
Damn right I do.
I know you do. You're my Google. When I need to know something, I'm like, honey, what is this? Except about Pee Wee Herman's hand puppet.
That wasn't Pee Wee Herman's hand puppet. Besides, I don't know half as much as I wish I wanted to.
As you wish you wanted to?
Yep.
Pee Wee had a pig-nosed friend named Billy Baloney.
But I like learning, so there's that. It's 27 springs. What the? No. Doing this shit. Why is power armor so stupid expensive?
Power armor is stupid expensive because you will pay the caps for it.
It's just the components, and this is even old armor to repair some of this stuff. I think the T60 might be the easiest to repair. I don't know.
Is that the Nuka-Cola one?
Yeah, this is a T51B set, and I got the Nuka-Cola paint on it, which is acquired by going into the domes in West Virginia, a place that I've actually been. Yeah, at TNT.
Ew! Gross!
What are you doing? Just put Pee-wee's head on stuff.
Ew!
It's weird. It's freaky.
Yeah?
And I could have lived my entire life without seeing someone superimpose Pee Wee Herman's head on a muscle
On a
guy.
buff body?
That's gonna ruin my He-Man fantasies I've had since I was 4 or 5. That's gonna ruin those for the rest
About
of my
Pee-wee?
life. No, not about Pee-wee, about oiled up muscle men. Jeez, Kelly, wearing not very much
You're
stuff.
talking about having fantasies about oiled up muscle men.
And you ruined it by superimposing Pee Wee Herman's face. Come on, kitty, let's get out of here.
Happy holidays, Doc. I'm not sure what Squall is.
Squall was a character from Final Fantasy. It'd be Final Fantasy VIII. And it's also what happens when, wind and water mix and make this really nasty wave. It's called Squall-Eye. And don't tell me some shit about Google, okay?
Okay, Google. I love you, Google.
That's not very nice.
These are the things that I buy my husband as toys. Because he likes them.
This was hard to get.
I know, I'm the one that ordered it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I love you. You should go put on your Volt suit now, dear.
Does it matter that I begged you to?
You didn't beg me to. You said,
I gave you the money.
I would really like to have this.
I gave you the money.
And so I spent the next 3 days monitoring Bethesda for their release. So that the moment it released, I was like, on it!
I told you that'd have to happen. That was the only way I got this thing, too. Yeah.
I know, he does have nice armor. You should see him, though. He's got a Vault suit, like an actual Blue Man Vault suit, and he's got the It's not Pip-Boy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Skole? Isn't that like a Russian metal band? Skole?
I don't know. It sounds like it should be though. If I create a metal band, that will then be
The name of it? I think there
Unless
is
it
one.
means something weird.
It means skull.
Oh.
It's Swedish. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, right.
There-
Well, that would make total sense. Swedish.
I am
Yeah.
pretty sure that there's a metal
I
band.
do like the death metal. And
Okay, Google.
Ghost.
Metal band. Skole.
With the square hammers. You were cast out from the heavens to the ground, with your blackened feathers falling down.
It's a Norwegian black metal band. See? I knew it. Ha-ha.
Oh, cool. Well, nice. I like. To put away my. I need to see if.
I'm going to have to go parent here in a second.
Why? Who's misbehaving?
Adeline and Elliot are bickering about putting clothing away.
I see. They're still fighting about that.
He asked her to go put them away properly, and she's out there being a snothead.
What am I missing? I'm missing aluminum. Shade. I have everything but the aluminium.
Oh my gosh, Mayhem vocalist skull fragment is up for sale.
Ouch. That sounds painful.
He's dead. They're selling a piece of his.
Yeah,
He says it's a Viking term for cheers.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Is what in the bedroom? There's lots of things in the bedroom, Duffy. You have to be more specific.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some band that's like I remember showing it to you. It's like all the handmade instruments and they dress in the motifs.
The steampunk giraffe.
No. This is like Celt or Viking music done in its origin and tradition. It's one of the two. I'm not sure which. I don't know what they're saying, but I like it.
I don't know what you're talking about, though. Sorry.
Yeah, my phone's dead, so I can't.
I've got Duffy here.
Yeah, would you play that out for me? Thank you.
I know you like to tie me up, but I don't think that was the manner it was supposed to be done in, dear.
Well, that's different.
The
than
vault
sorority.
suit. Yes, it is in the bedroom.
Yes, I do have a vault suit. Hey, don't make fun of
Duffy
me.
wants you to go put on your vault suit.
Don't make fun of me because
I'm not making fun of you. Go put on your vault suit. I bought it for you. Go put it on and put your face on. Please, husband. Please, husband. I'm gonna go put your vault suit on, but it'll be too big, and I can't get the thingy wrapped around me right.
See what I mean? Are you pouting at me because of
I'm
this?
batting my eyes at you and asking you super sweetly to go put on your vault suit.
Nobody wants to see that.
Everybody wants to see it. Yes, it's the blue Vault Tech suit.
Then I'll look like Galactic Reptile, except mine's 111. Oh,
It is 111.
Yeah. And you know what that means. No, I don't know. What does that mean?
That you love your wife and you're gonna go put on your blue Vault Tech suit.
I can't take the emotional manipulation
You know,
anymore, Kelly.
At some point, we need to
You're
have
driving me to drink.
on there where he can see and he can be like. That's where the snacking sounds always come from. The hot water bottle. Duffy says, "Oh my." Yes, for some reason I just heard George Takei in my head
Oh.
as I read Duffy saying "Oh my," which is so as far from Duffy as you can get. That is so, yes.
Now I'll show you the
You should.
thing. So it's like, you know, for like Comic-Con and cosplay and Halloween and such, but it's not like something you be wearing all the time. It's got the leather, it's the leather armor and the belts, the straps, all the harnesses and such. So let me see. Here's one of them. She got it there in my face.
I get him all the neat toys. Ooh. Duffy says nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty nice costume. It wasn't that expensive either. I think it was $60 for the suit, and then I think like 30 or 40 for the leather harness. And
Yeah, it was something stupid for the harness, because I thought I was getting the whole suit when I ordered the harness. I was actually kind of pissed off, because I was expecting the whole thing for that price, and I opened it up, and it's just this leather strap, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with just a leather strap?
Well, you know, it's alright.
What was the other thing we got? Oh, the Nuka-Cola gun.
Yeah, the Nuka-Cola blaster, which is fun too. I think my daughters had more fun playing with this thing than
That was kind of the intention of it.
than I had, but you actually flip the thing up and fill out the Nuka-Cola. So. That thing never works right. And I'm surprised it's still on there. Shoots. So.
It's nice. It's a good gun.
Yeah.
It was a good find at the spirit store.
Yeah. And you know, I was looking for a laser rifle. That's what I really wanted, was a laser rifle. But
I couldn't find one.
they don't actually make them. You have to get like custom made props or like movie quality props, and those aren't cheap, man. To have someone custom build you a movie quality prop for cosplay. And I always wondered how, you know, I always watch those cosplay things and you wonder how people get these crazy costumes.
Yeah.
Some people make them themselves, but a lot of people will
Purchase
contract
that, too.
out to get someone to like fabricate it for them.
I'm telling you, once Alex gets better at his whittling, we should see if he can take a giant log and whittle you a laser blaster.
You could put it on a lathe and get one carved out probably pretty quick.
He's gonna whittle me a spoon. I told him I wanted a spoon.
That used to be the common dinnerware for people for
It makes sense.
thousands
It's
of
wood
years.
and it holds up. Hold up your wood.
Did you what are you going for? Did he mention what kind of what he's gonna use?
Well, he's working with that basswood right now.
So yeah, but that's just practice.
Oh, excuse me.
And you know, you find this interesting, you can probably stain it with coffee to get a nice dark finish on it.
Probably.
And it would be pretty safe in terms of...
You know that if you want yellow dyes, you use onion skin, and red dyes are berries.
We used to dig a root in Kentucky that...
Black are walnuts, or buckeyes.
Oh yeah.
Buckeyes will give you a nice black dye.
You get the tannin out of, buckeyes, black walnuts, and acorns and other tree nuts like that. They usually have a lot of tannins. Beer. People used to use beer as a stain for walls. They used to clean the walls
Oh, interesting.
with beer. Way
Did
back.
it turn the walls orange?
No, it gives them a nice dark color.
I'm just harassing about
There
your-
are still probably some walls in the house
Dreamsicle.
in Bucking. You know,
That
don't
pipe
you-
matches your dreamsicle walls,
Why are
dear.
you always hating on my orange?
I'm not hating on your orange. Have I ever asked you to change the color? No, I like the orange.
I do too. Woman.
So you just assume that because I point out the fact that it looks like a dreamsicle that I don't like it. I actually like it. I like dreamsicles. Now, I would like the rest of the house to not be yellow and instead be like cool blues and greens.
I want cold colors. You want
But-
cold colors in the rest of the house? You can go your neutral
This
cold
room
tones.
can be
So
orange forever.
I'll paint this room purple.
You will not.
I'm rebelling, Kelly.
You're rebelling
I'm
against yourself.
Rebelling against your cold, harsh, metallic
Look, I
tones.
said green. I just don't want
Okay, I'll go with green all day long.
yellow.
You got me with green.
Okay.
And I don't know why she picked that beige. She was weird. I like earth tones, so everything I got was some weird yellowy sandy
It looks like
piss.
piss.
Yes. Yeah. This is the only custom color in the house that I had made, and when I went to go get it, no one had this color, and I had to get it custom mixed.
Did you take in a dreamsicle popsicle and say, this is the color that I want?
No, I actually went a little darker than the
Than the
orange
dreamsicle?
dreamsicle. Just a little that light orange, and the Pantone is a little bit lighter.
I really want a dreamsicle right now.
Me too. And Arby's pisses me off because people are like, hey man, Arby's has got that dreamsicle and everything. You know, like so much.
It lasted for like 3 days.
It's the only thing I'll ever get from that roast beef sandwich slinging place of hell. And I
do
go
like
through
their
there and
roast
they're
beef
like, no, we got these coffee mocha chocolate shit. And I'm like, fuck, I hate coffee mocha chocolate. Why?
Ducky says neon blue.
Okay, I could get into that maybe. Because, I don't know, that's electric-y.
I want the soft, subtle, relaxing ocean color, like the gray sand and blue for the bathroom. And I want greens in the living room. That's what I would like. Because I'm weird. Yes.
I'll go with green. I like a dark green, but that doesn't make a good wall color. But
Well, you do an accent wall in dark green, and the rest of the walls in like a silver green, a lighter, softer green, just so long as it's not that
seafoam or
seafoam
baby poo.
crap.
Yeah.
No, more like a silver green than a seafoam.
I see.
It's just it's supposed to be relaxed, and then you have one nice like Kelly or hunter green wall. One, like your main wall is that solid.
I mean, I like
Dark
a dark.
You like a dark everything. You want your room to be pitch black.
No, but I like dark. That dark forest green is one of my favorite colors. It just does not make a good wall color.
Duffy says green is good for your eyes. My eyes are already green, Duffy. It's the Irish in me.
Good.
Are you giving me looks now?
There.
There is Irish in me. My father's actual name before he was adopted was Babcock.
I thought you were dirt nipples.
Durchschnappel, and that's German, and it's on my mother's side. Bite my rear end.
mein Obergriffen here.
You're gonna see a flaming redhead here in a second. Danny says, whoop!
Eat Abend und Leben.
Mwah! I love you too. You keep calling me Durchschnippel. There is no nipple.
It's not my fault you guys were dirt nipples.
It's napple. Like Snapple, but
You say so.
with a sh in it. Schnapple. Actually, remember the one time we were playing, well, you were playing and I was yakking your ear off and that German kid popped on? And he was like, I'm related to the Durschnappels. And I'm like, holy crap, I found
There's more?
family.
There's more.
Yes, there's more Durschnappels still in Germany.
Oh. Bitten. Bitten.
Did you just call me a bitch?
Nein.
I do not speak German.
Bitten mein Hasen.
And the only Irish I speak is whoop ass.
Whoop ass.
Whoop ass.
Don't you be opening no cans of whoop ass.
Only if I have to. Did you break the fence? Or was it already broken?
Oh, my beer.
You got beer and you didn't share.
I don't actually. I haven't had any beer in forever.
I know, we didn't drink much beer this summer.
I know. I drank some, but
We didn't drink much of anything this summer.
Oh no, I was behaving myself all summer long.
I always behave myself. I'm a good girl.
Is it just me or did a bunch of shit happen this summer and nothing really...
Happened?
That is what happened. Shit.
Let's see, what happened this summer? My birthday, Alex's birthday, having to drive to Nashville because his father wouldn't return him to us. Work, 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 more work.
I don't know.
Debbie says, whoop ass is the best part of being Irish, right?
Alright, so you're speaking his language.
I said the only Irish I speak is whoop ass. You should have known that was his language.
The whoop ass.
Whoop ass.
I should have known. Catching me out of nowhere.
That is how I caught you and reeled you right in.
Fisher of men, are you?
Get you on the right side of the boat.
That's helpful.
What are you picking up more crap? You are not going to be able to fast travel.
I'm picking up aluminium. And plastiques.
There are pumpkin heads. You are such a dork.
I
am surprised that they don't have like Christmas trees with stuff up somewhere.
Well, they have it where you can decorate your house with Christmas trees and stuff like that, but they don't have like actual.
They have fucking pumpkin things like it was Halloween when they.
See, that's actually what happened. Is the bombs fell on my birthday.
Oh, it fell on your birthday.
Yeah, yes, it seriously did.
Oh.
So, and the
that explains the Halloween stuff.
And then so it was coming up on Halloween, so everyone was having their Halloween parties, so that's why you still see Halloween decorations up. And I believe if you open the Pip-Boy, it's the 25th of October in 2102. So
where do you see a date on there?
At the very bottom.
Oh, there it is. And then 1111.
Yeah, 1111.
12.
And that's and I believe.
What is that? The time?
So I've spent like 40 years playing or something on my calendar, because it should have opened up in like October 30th, 2076 is when the vault should have opened. I wonder if you start a new character, it shows that as the date.
Oh. I could probably start a character and find out, but I don't play.
Oh, you're gonna play, woman.
I'll play with you later.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I don't know, the last game you got me to play was the Fallout Shelter thing. The vault thing?
Yeah, but only because I figured that would be something that you might enjoy.
I did, and in 3 days I had 200 people and a successful vault.
Jeez.
I guess they're going to institute lunchboxes. People are talking a rumor that they've heard that this game is going to get lunchboxes in it, like the other.
Like the one I played?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and I don't know how it's going to be. It's like maybe they're going to have all the cosmetic stuff come through as lunchboxes. So if you want
As I
stuff,
said, did that come through in 4?
if you, no, there was no. Well, there was a store in
Why is
4,
there
like
cooking oil in the?
they have now.
Why is there cooking oil in the?
I don't know. It's just random. It's random junk.
Oh, combination. Actually, you think the wrenches?
The wrenches have gears in them, so that's why. I like
Is
to
Kelly going to play some Anthem? I don't even know what Anthem is.
Yeah, she's not really a video gamer that much. She'll do the mobile games. She likes some tablet games, likes Tetris and some of the old school stuff, but she's not really a big gamer.
Give me some Frogger.
There you go.
I'm in.
The classics.
This stuff doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and I'm terrible at shooting. Although, what was the one game that we played that had the shooting? Oh, Fortnite. I was playing Fortnite.
Yeah, you're fine with shooting IRL, and that's where it matters.
Well, yes, I can shoot in real life.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't even care about that. I won't hold it against you because your aim in the virtual sucks. You know, as long as you can shoot someone in the
I can shoot
IRL.
someone in the dick if they try to steal my stuff.
There you go. High five. Trained you right. Why do we aim for the dick? Because the
Because
muzzle
if you aim
jumps.
for the dick, and the thing goes, and you hit him in the gut.
Only on that double tap. Trust me, you want to squeeze more than once. Don't jerk. Squeeze.
I know you like it when I squeeze.
In the words of Robert Plant, squeeze my lemon. Till the juice runs down my leg. I think that's the way you squeeze my lemon makes me fall right out of bed.
So what is Anthem? Tell me. What am I eating?
Anthem is a song that you sing for
I
the
know
wayward
that
people.
You're really waiting to see. I'm gonna sing one, but it's gonna make Duffy mad.
May all your sons return home.
Oh dear.
What are you singing? Don't you sing God Save
God
the
save
Queen.
the Queen.
That's, what the hell? You are a mean girl. I don't get it sometimes. She likes being mean.
He says, well, that's what counts.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I don't
right.
think he meant me being a mean girl. I think
No,
he meant me
he
being
meant-
able to shoot people.
That's right.
I am a mean girl. I had to sing God Save the Queen for the Queen, so... But that was like 30 years ago.
Oh. Yeah. Well. Fucking depressive buttholes. They just-
Hey, I had fun going to the fish and chip pubs, and
they
that
ser-
was awesome.
They serve you a pint?
Yes.
Who's let you have a freaking pint on a high school trip?
Every place I went, because in Europe, almost every country will allow you to drink as long as you're tall enough to sit on a bar stool and put your money on the
I
table.
know how it works.
That was what we were actually. Oh shit. That was what we were told in Germany. As long as you're tall enough to sit on a bar stool, and you can put money on the table, you're old enough to drink.
I know. I know that's how it works. Same thing in South America. Same thing in Mexico.
We're the only country, and you know, we have like the highest alcoholism rate
Yeah.
because we make it a. Except maybe individual households. We have.
America's got a lot of dumb problems like that. We are made.
We make it a taboo, and so people want to do it. Speaking of, where's the Everclear?
Hey, I keep that Everclear in case I need an antiseptic and a fire starter. And I ain't for drinking. You see that?
You're gonna drink some
Here, Debbie. I know you like a snort every once in a while. Look at this shit. Ooh. This is for cleaning carburetors. Oh yeah. 95% alcohol by volume.
Ireland says, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. Oh jeez. I feel for the peoples.
That is so not true, Dovey. Ireland wouldn't say, "Hold my beer." Ireland would whoop ass and still be holding their beer.
That's right. They'd hold that beer while whooping that ass, wouldn't they?
I have more faith in you than that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, Con, nice. Here, over there. See, okay, so DCQ, are you still on? I see you back there, but oh, I think he's off now. He was on.
What was they wanting?
Nothing. Just chatting. They said they were the ones that said skull, and I said what was skull, and they said skull means a Viking cheer.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Hello,
right.
Ash.
I think it's Skull.
Skull, S-K-O-L.
Oh, okay. I've heard that before somewhere.
And we have Ash the Beast 234 on there.
Oh, Ash versus the Evil Dead?
You do like that show.
Well, you know, when you're
They
talking
haven't
about
come out with a new one of that for a while either.
Ashes being the beast, does that make you the beast of Revelations, or what is it?
Oh, don't ask that question.
Yeah.
No. That's a no. No. We don't go there. Oh. He says sup.
Oh, you know. A little this, a little that.
Definitely not the temperature.
No, not the temperature.
Conversations about whoop ass and Irish drinking and husbandry and wifery. That's generally the up today.
Well, just drinking in general.
Drinking in general is fun.
Yeah, not specifically national drinking, but just drinking in general. Because we like to. And we usually hate ourselves for it the next day.
You hate yourself for it the next day. I generally drink water.
Oh, my head. Water is
How's the
poisonous.
stream?
How can you drink water? Fish have
Is it
sex
a
in
bubbling
it.
brook? He says, how's the stream?
Flowing nicely. Yeah, it's the sea.
That was my word of the day. S-U-C-C-I-N-C-T.
Very nice. High five, spelling bee.
Yeah, right? No, he's not the Beast of Revelations. He says LOL and then he made the devil face, or vampire face. I think it's a vampire face. It's the semicolon and a dash and a semicolon. So it's got the like fangs.
Beastie face?
Yes.
Ah, I see. Alright, cool. I think that's what Aleister Crowley called himself or something.
He was the Beast.
Yeah, he was the beast of something. One of the monikers that he picked up. I think that was after his return to Europe. He didn't fare well when he came back to the European nations and tried to reintegrate to the culture because he had become so immersed in yoga and the Asian theologies that he didn't deal well with, and at that time English society was pretty stuck up too.
I was gonna say they were pretty set in the.
So propriety would even prevent people from literally talking to other people or even acknowledging their existence.
Well, because you separated yourself from that which was considered evil to keep from being infected by evil.
And he didn't do well with that.
He's a Wookiee beast.
So I think he adapted that moniker kind of to
you know, kind of I think it was kind of an FU in the face, and they were putting people on trial. They looked like Oscar Wilde and him.
Everybody was put
Both
on trial.
Was on trial. It was, and I don't remember what they called them. It was trials of. It wasn't decency, but it was something like that. You were on trial for your decency or your social conduct or something like that.
He says he's a Wookiee beast. Isn't that what you call me when I hide in the bushes? I Wookiee people.
We call you a bush Wookiee.
Bush Wookiee, that's right. I'm a bush Wookiee.
Hello, darling. I love you. Very nice to see you again. Thank you for the hug. High five. All right. What's up? A snack?
No, but you will be having dinner in a little bit because I'm going to be making.
What do you think this is? A
Yes.
What are these? These are honey roasted peanuts.
You know, I did find that only particular nuts in my package were sugared nuts. The rest of them were.
You want some cashews too? Well, how about you go have these, and then forget you ever saw cashews.
I have some cashews.
Or pistachios. Never happened.
I almost got some of those.
Okay. So, if you guys are looking for holiday gift ideas, and I promised the guy who...
Extra salty.
I promised the guy who owns this company that I would plug his company. And he does mail order. So, if you're looking for something yummy, look up Wolfie.
He says he's going to change his YouTube pick, which is currently like a tire wheel with a rim on it. A red tire with a white rim. And he says that noise, though, I think he's referring to your Wookiee call.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I don't know what it was because it's not coming up with hearings. If I type in hearings of decency. Malfeasance.
Oh, malfeasance.
Malfeasance?
Mm-hmm. Wild was in trouble because he liked men.
Trials of malfeasance. Nope. Nothing comes up. Trials of justice. And Justice's malfeasance case. Medical malfeasance. It brings up the Marshall Brian Pope felony trial.
I was reading about it. Remember I said I saw those encyclopedias of criminal justice at
Yes.
at the Justice Center?
I love those. Those were awesome.
Those are really cool encyclopedias, and I was looking through them, and it was talking about these trials in England that were just based on character. You know.
Okay.
So if you were doing things that were considered poor character, homosexuality, alcoholism, gambling, things.
TGR Galactic Republic. That's his symbol.
TGR, the Galactic Republic. Isn't there a new Galactic Republic being formed by a bunch of wealthy people across the world, and they're calling it Asgard?
I know nothing of this.
And they're talking
What do you
about
want?
building a space station.
Ask them if I can have some cashews.
No. He told you to
I
look
gave you
at
some.
me. Stop. You were told you're done. You were told to take what you had and go. You
I
need
gave you
to
some. We're gonna be eating dinner soon. You can't spoil your dinner. Go play. I just gave you sugary coated protein. Go
I
play.
don't answer you more than once, and you've already gotten an answer.
I love you, dear. I have some food soon.
Will you be sitting with us?
Yes.
Then I'm sitting by you.
Okay.
Wait, will
You
we
always
on
sit
the bench?
beside him. Make me sit out there, silly girl.
You sit-
Jaffa cakes.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Those are good with Java juice.
Danny says, just eaten 2 packs of Jaffa cakes. Dame my life. I think he means them.
Or damn.
Damn? Oh, damn. Yeah, okay.
Damn my life. And
Ash says the first order.
let's see, that's Star Wars. I don't know why I wasn't putting it together. Those are all
Oh.
Star Wars.
Yes, okay.
So he is the Galactic Republic First Order. Nice.
Oh, are you gonna play with your...
I bet the batteries are dead on it. Oh, darn, my batteries are dead on my lightsaber. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Oh, did you show Duffy what I got you for Christmas?
What?
Because he will thoroughly enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, I've got a bag of trolls.
Yes. So my husband, bless him, is like the troll slayer on the internet. These
So she
12-year-olds that decide that they want to heckle him then get slaughtered. So I bought him a bag of trolls so he could name each of them after all of his little trolls.
So I guess trolls and
Danny says Star Wars is dead. Danny,
Star Wars is dead, Danny.
You're not nice.
It's dead. Disney got it. They put their evil claws into it, and they're all.
Ash says yeah, and then he says wait.
He's like, wait, I'm one of those trolls.
No, he's not one of the trolls. He's talking about Duffy saying Star Wars is dead, and he says, no, it's not.
Well, you know, it's not what.
Don't mind Irish. He says things lovingly.
It's okay to feel like the franchise has been taking a direction you don't like.
That is true.
I
That is
believe
very true.
That they're doing it to appeal to the next generation of consumer. You know, for probably.
He's got 4 of the lightsabers.
Cool.
Danny says Ash is denied. I remember growing up, and my brother had like the Star Wars bedroom. So he had Star Wars wallpaper, and he had the Star Wars sheets and the Star Wars print blanket,
Nice.
and this, yeah. So there was Princess Leia and
Come on, wanna lay?
I don't want to think about my brother thinking about that.
I didn't say anything about.
No.
Kelly, what
No,
the hell?
That, no.
What the hell, Kelly? I was just, thinking
No.
about Hawaii, and all of a sudden you.
Oh, you are not thinking about Hawaii, you liar.
I was put your coconuts in my
Liar.
tahiki niki.
I'm gonna put my coconuts in your something.
Oh, come on, Walia.
Put my coconuts in your face.
Let's talk dirty Hawaiian.
Ash says Disney killed Lucasfilms.
Oh, yeah, it's probably pretty true. Alright, maybe he sold it. Maybe not so much killed it. Maybe Disney was just like, like Jabba the Hutt. It was like, and he just upped all the Lucasfilms, and then.
It's Pizza the Hut. They were like Pizza the Hut. They weren't even like Jabba. They're pizza.
Yeah, they were like Pizza the Hut with like pustules
Where they're
and
eating
cheese
themselves.
is glooping in there.
Yes.
And then some dog guy, the poor dog. Was he a Woogie? He was a Woogie, wasn't he?
Mary Sue, Star Wars, FU, Disney. I don't know what the Mary Sue part was.
I don't know.
Duffy said something about Mary Sue. Ash says, you thought I left? Psych.
Oh,
Who thought you left?
psyching us out. You totally tricked me. Trixie
Okay.
Rabbitses.
Trixie Rabbits.
Psycho
Tricks is for
buff,
kids.
Psycho buff. Psycho buff. Psycho buff.
Who's going in the buff?
Psycho
Oh,
buff.
there's Mom. Hello. Butter. Homemade butter. Homemade butter. I think it's just intended to keep it from splashing up over the sides. So, we'll see. Yes. It does not surprise me that the orange butter did not last very long. That's a delicious butter.
Ray is a very soup. Maybe soup.
That's funny, because the girls keep eating all your honey butter. It's butter, Mom. You're not supposed to eat butter just by itself.
Sure you are. You can deep fry it.
Husband says deep fry it.
There actually is deep fried butter chunks.
Ew. Yeah, I just need to get on that because I used it all up. Mhm. Yeah, but we can do Friday or Sunday. I mean, Sunday I tend to. At some point, we have to go to Sybil's for a family picture. Spider-Verse. Okay. Okay. I asked her what time and she never responded. So if you want to take them to the movie at 1, we'll work around it. Okay. Yeah. Are you doing something on Friday? No, next week, next Friday. I mean, because you're talking about doing it on Sunday. I was just wondering if you were, because they're off school. When is the 1st? Tuesday? Okay, yeah, they're back in school then. Well, Elliot will be back in school. Okay. Alright, I'll be out. Love you. Bye.
What's up?
Ray is a Mary Sue. Oh! Ah! Got it. Your base looks cool according to Ash.
Yeah.
You might need a doctor.
You can carry multiple power armor frames at a time. It just all depends on your carry weight. If I wasn't carrying a whole bunch of other stuff too, like junk and ammo, I could probably carry 5 suits of power armor and switch between them. But I'm carrying all kinds of stuff. I tend to be a pack rat in these games, so
Yes, you are.
yeah.
I'm a pretty long time fan of the franchise. I've been playing Fallout since Fallout 3 came out, and I bought every collector's edition game that they've got. You know, this game has been different. It's got all of your staples from Fallout, but it's got some pretty new features. It can be very unkind to solo players sometimes, so if you're trying to play on your own, it can be none too friendly because of other players, but there's that. And so that's taken some adjustment, I think, as a person who primarily is a PvE player, to get used to having people just kind of come up and wreck your stuff. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. I do like this game a lot. I think it has the potential to be one of the best Fallout games they ever made. I think it's got a lot of potential for growth. I think like a lot of their problems, or a lot of their games, it's had some programming issues, so it's had some bugs and some problems. But there's been some very nice features to this game. You can sync up with your friends pretty seamlessly. You're not restricted to having to worry about like shards or game server lists. You kind of just can join up with your friends pretty easy. There's been a lot of cooperative stuff that you can do. It is kind of hard on your own sometimes, but being able to team up with your friends and summon nukes and fight large bosses is pretty fun to be able to do that in the Fallout universe, finally. I think this game has some problems, but I think it gets probably harsher criticism than it deserves. Hello, Muffin Yummy. I love yummy muffins. Is there a particular type of muffin that were yummy?
Yeah, my booby muffins.
Well, I can't be doing that with these glasses on.
You can't be doing that with the camera on either, so
Well,
you just have to wait till later.
okay.
Muffin, yummy. Hello. Shh. They say yes.
Well, what is your favorite type of muffin?
Lemon poppy seed.
You like lemon poppy seed?
I do. It's actually a toss-up. Lemon poppy seed and blueberry.
I do like blueberry. This may seem kind of strange, but I actually like a bran and raisin. So.
Bran and raisin. A raisin bran? Huh. It's just a cookie.
Cookie? Like chocolate chip cookie muffins? Okay, I can get behind that.
Danny says, "Ho my muffins."
Oh my! Oh.
That's
Oh
better than the oh
my.
my. Yes, that gave me the.
The giggles.
They're playing Fallout 76. It made me hear George Takei in my head. You know, usually I hear the Irish in my head.
But this time it was
This
replaced.
time it was George Takei.
She did not approve of that. She's not a big fan of George Takei.
I am not. He is
She
a
is
weird
not a big
feminist
fan
man,
of
and
George
which is, I think,
Takei.
completely ass backwards for a man to be a third wave feminist.
You don't approve of his marriage to Brad?
I don't care about his marriage to Brad. His marriage to Brad does not affect me in any way, shape, or form. My issue is his promotion of feminine dominance over men, and that bothers me.
Woman, I told you not to have an opinion.
Equality does not serve dominance in either direction. And submission does not actually mean being abused.
But abuse is way more fun. I need copper. Can you tell me where to find coppers?
Yes, they're at the police department about 6 roads over.
You hate it when I say copper
No, I hate it when people call them cops.
in that context.
Yes. Because
Well,
that is a derogatory term which actually refers to civilians on patrol and not
City boogers?
not civil servants,
I see.
which does, yes, actually bother me.
Dang it. I put up the one with the wrong thing.
That cough thing is gonna kill me.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyway.
I got too much stuff. Why did I take all this back?
Who's knocking and why? Something about I hope not. I don't know where that came from. What part of our conversation that was referring to. Oh, you not going to die. No, I have had this chest cold, congestion, cough thing, which apparently they're now saying might be the flu, a new strain of the flu, for about 9 months. And it's much, much better now than it was. But I had some serious respiratory issues. I was on breathing treatments and inhalers and just coughing endlessly for months. But thank God for being born in an era where medicine is prevalent and science has figured out how to use the plants and herbs that God created to heal us.
And pie.
Muffin's gonna get their gas mask so that they don't breathe my...
Oh, I see.
Duffy says his sister-in-law has it too. It is annoying and painful.
Yeah, they're saying there's some virus going around that's causing a persistent cough. It persists for a pretty long time too.
Yeah, since it's a virus, there isn't a whole lot they can do about it.
Yeah, and it's good actually for a human immunology as a whole. It's pretty good that we're already getting some exposure to some new and different strains of the flu. Give our immune system some workouts, because the human immune system's been supported so long by a lot of different things that we're kind of...
Well, at this point, viruses are about the only thing we don't have a treatment for. Because you have antibiotics for bacteria, although we're now getting into the multiple resistance strains.
There's some antiviral stuff.
Not a whole lot. Not things that are...
It doesn't, not in the scope and efficacy of antibiotics. But we're kind of messing that up too.
Well, we keep over-treating it, and so stuff is not holding its efficacy. We're training all these little microbes to not...
Yeah, we probably over-sanitized a little bit too much, you know. We probably, was it Crunchy Mom or whatever?
Oh my gosh, they have finally stopped with the constant what do they call it? The precautionary antibiotics and the constant hand sanitization, and they're actually looking at going back to some of the natural exposure over vaccination. Well, so like taking kids around other kids who have chickenpox, like they did when we were kids.
The over-sterilization contributes heavily to allergies late in life. You really need immune response exposure when you're young to help prevent those allergies. So it is okay to let little Billy eat some dirt occasionally.
Yeah.
It probably will help his digestive tract and his gut bacteria too. So yeah, people are overdoing that a bit. And I like my antibiotics working. I would like to see that they continue to do that.
Yes, I would like to see them continue to work too, because there are much more prevalent, nasty strains of viruses that I don't want to see.
Yeah, we got to keep Duffy's sister-in-law from developing pneumonia.
She needs to breathe deeply, very, very deeply, even though it hurts.
And take all those antibiotics, all of them. So
they had to give me antibiotics, steroids, albuterol inhaler, and an albuterol nebulizer. and then it was still another 3 months. About 3 months on the inhaler.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, she had a pretty dry, rough cough for quite a while. And doctors didn't quite know what it was. Never really got a good explanation for that. But you know, when we were talking earlier about advancements in viral DNA sequencing, they've made a Plinko machine, essentially. For about the price of a Lexus, you can get a Plinko machine that will accurately identify the DNA sequence of any viral DNA that you put into it.
Really?
And the way that it works is it uses specific sequences. So it'll use codes of the chain, a sequence of the code, and what it does is it stains.
Muffin Yummy said that they just got ended by 4 power armor guys.
Oh well,
That stinks.
that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. This game does have plenty of gankers and harassing.
Hence the trolls.
Juvenile troll people who would just as soon mess with you because they can. Not really any good benefit in doing it. It's just to harass people.
Well, you had a couple of those the other day that decided to. One in particular that decided to really.
Yeah, I've had, it's just like any
Bash
game.
down.
I've had people follow me around, and it's like literally griefing at that point. When you follow someone to 4 or 5 different locations, and you follow them around for 15 or 20 minutes, getting in their way so that you flag PvP, it's pretty obvious. Whatever. Tell that little Billy eat dog poo. Yeah, I don't know. If Billy is annoying enough, I say let him eat it, and he can get some toxoplasmosa and start transmitting deadly neural parasites to all his little poop-eating friends. Oh, yeah. So if you just started playing the game, as long as you don't attack back, they can't really do a lot of damage to you. And what people will do is they'll follow you, and they'll hit you, and then when you go to swing or you go to shoot, they'll stand in front of you. And then when they do that, it flags you both for PvP, and then they'll kill you. And then what they can also do is rob you. So, if you really don't want to engage in PvP, or you're just trying not to get killed, you can usually just run away, and they'll just waste ammo. There are a few people who figured out exploits that can actually kill you, though if you stand around and let them hit on you, they will be able to kill you. But otherwise, as long as you don't fight back, you should be okay. You can just run away. The one thing that they can destroy with impunity is your camp. So your camp is never really safe. So wherever you put it out, people can pretty much attack that if you have anything built whenever you want. But if they do attack it, they flag, so they'll be wanted. And then that lets everyone else on the map know where they are and gives them caps for killing them. Yeah, I imagine at level 5, it's pretty newbie. If you've never played a Fallout game before, it's probably going to be pretty confusing. But if you played Fallout 4, you should be fine. It should seem really familiar then. I do have a community associated with this stream, so you can also join that. That's fine. You should be able to find it through the stream. It's a community for Fallout 76. So if you got questions or you're looking for help or grouping, you can find it in there. Some of the guys I play with drop enough stuff every single day to set you up with whatever you need, and they literally just drop it on the ground because they can't carry it or use it. My brother drops enough ammo and junk every single day to outfit 5 noobs. It's crazy. In fact, if you're in the game, I could probably give you right now, let's see, I may have dropped a bunch of them. Okay, so I've got 2 of the barn building set, and that's going to give you the ability to build barn-like buildings. Toilets, metal tables, modern couches, Nuka-Cola machines. Apparently I've got that too. So these are all plans, and each one costs a quarter of a pound, so every 4 I've got a whole pound, so I've probably got about 4 pounds there. And, you know, you're welcome to them. Anybody who's watching this, if you got this game or you want it, I'll give it to you. I dropped 10, 15 plans today just 2 hours ago. So... So this is a workshop. It's basically a temporary base that you can take. It's a PvP location. Other players can come to this location, and if they want to take it from me, they can initiate PvP with me and take it. Inside this location, it has specific resources that you can then put machinery into the resources, and it will actually farm items for you. So this one in particular has a machine that creates ammo, and then it has another machine that makes junk, as you can see there, which are 2 pretty important things in this game to get. And on days when I'm not really playing with people, or I'm just kind of farting around and bullshitting, I'll take these workshops, because the workshop will then produce items, and I don't have to walk around and mess around with trying to collect them. It'll just make them. And in an hour or 2 of sitting here chatting, I'll be able to collect a decent amount of materials. So it does require some infrastructure to get this stuff going. So you actually have to, like you would in Fallout 4, you actually have to open up your workshop menu and then build specific items like power cables and power connectors. This individual item takes 10 power to operate it, and once it's operating, it farms junk out of this pile of junk here, and it will actually farm different materials from that. Of most use that I think that you would need the most is going to be your springs, your aluminum, your copper. Screws are pretty damn easy to get. Crystal is good for energy weapons. I already got a decent amount of that stuff. So mostly just need the aluminum and the different items. So and you can see this one here said it's been taken by this Raven Song guy. So if I wanted to, I could walk over here and then initiate PvP combat, and that guy would have about a minute to get here and put up a fight. If he gets here and shows up and kills me, then he can loot all of my junk, and then he can maintain his ownership of this place. But if I get here and I claim it before he shows up, or I kill him, then it will then transfer to me. He can then keep attacking. You know, if he comes back and kills me, then he can take it right back. And that could go on until one of us is like, I had enough. Dying in PvP, you don't lose weapons or armor. The only thing that you lose is potentially your junk items. So the items that you're collecting to build weapons, armor, to make stuff inside the workshops. So I'm a hoarder in this game. So I'm always overweight. But because I'm overweight, I don't fast travel around very much. And actually, walking in this game can be pretty painstaking if you end up getting really high weight because you can't really run. And there's these things called Scourge Beasts. And in these upper level areas like this, the Scorch Beast will appear. So you really don't want to be over encumbered trying to run away from 40 undead and this flying dragon thing that's shooting you with screechy Mothra powers. So I've been kind of just sitting here at this thing, collecting items and ammo. And I've probably got way more ammo than I need, so I probably should go out and wander around. And that might help with my over-encumbrance, but I'm not even sure what I've got that's making me so overweight. And I don't really have any more room, so I should probably be crafting some shit. Yeah, so scrap all my junk. I don't even have junk to scrap. So I don't need that crap. I don't need that crap. I don't need that crap. Fertilizer. I can get more fucking fertilizer than that. Yes. Yes. What do you want?
Dinner is ready whenever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, tacos?
Tacos.
That was fast.
Tacos don't take a whole lot of time.
Did your mom drop off stuff?
She brought me lettuce.
Oh yeah, see you later, Duffy.
Bye, Duffy!
Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting.
Muffin says they're noob.
Yeah.
Big words hurt me brain. What big words were you using?
I don't even know. Was I using big words?
Not while I was in here, but, you know, I left the room, and it was after I left the room that he said that.
Oh. I don't know.
Haha, I got a buy and you didn't.
I probably was.
Shall we go eat, dear? Are you at a place to...
Oh yeah, I'm at a safe spot and location. I can stop this and come have some tacos. I'm surprised Gabe hasn't gotten on yet.
We can come back in a bit.
Alright, yep, I'm gonna put a pause and I'll be back
Thanks for watching.
later. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe, like, all those good things.